Howard. Always live on the Odyssey app is KFXX, KWJJ, HD2 Portland. 1080, The Fan, an Odyssey sports station.
This message will self-destruct.
It's time to begin the football weekend.
And as they say in Tinseltown, roll up.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
They had pride, they had talent, they had hats and t-shirts.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app, follow 1080 The Fan, and enable push notifications to get the latest on the Ducks, Beavers, Blazers, and more.
Dirt and Sprague on 1080 The Fan.
All right, welcome into a hot corner edition of Dirt and Sprague. Must be 6:02 in the Rose City.
24 Reno. Blue Poncho. Monday.
Here we go. I am Patrick Harris along with Joseph Fisher III in with you. Swag on the ones and twos.
Let's go. Or should I say, here we go.
Here we go. What's up, friends?
We walked in at the same time this morning.
Which was nice. It was nice seeing you at night again, which I normally do.
Yeah, usually we're seeing each other when it's pitch black out at 9:02 p.m. on a Tuesday night, walking out of the building. So very, very bizarre. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Like, what's going on?
Well, I think we just live in a world of dark. At least I do. You know, I feel like I go to work
Perpetual
and it's dark
darkness.
And go home and it's dark. And
yeah,
I like the nighttime though. I'm okay with it.
You're a night owl? I will tell you.
Not as much anymore, but I think I'm just used to it being dark.
I don't know what it is with me over the last week or so, but your boy has been staying up way too late.
Yeah, you gaming? I've been gaming lately.
Yes, I have been.
Yeah.
that is definitely part of, I would say about 60% of the reasoning that I've been staying up later.
Are you maddening?
What was it? The other night was college football, 25. Because
is that good?
Yeah, it's great.
I remember hearing Dirt talk about how he was gonna
it's very nostalgic.
throw all caution to the wind and just play college.
It's very nostalgic just because it's been 10 years, and Joey got it for Christmas.
Ooh.
They probably had a good deal going on.
You were like, it's time to go to bed, Joe.
Oh, trust me, I was the first one playing that game. Like, it was not like he was not the one that got to play it first. But my dad got it for him, and then when Joey opened it up, I said to my dad, "I was like, thank you." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "You think that I made him put this on his list for him?" It's like, no, this is just for as much for me as it is him.
That's what I've started doing. I realized my Christmas presents that I wish for are things pure selfish based. Like, I want that. Nobody else wants that. I want that. I'm really excited when I get it. My wife, on the other hand, she wants like practical things for like the house or the yard or car or whatever it is. So usually somebody gets her something real cool and I look over and I go, sweet, that's mine too.
Yeah, right.
Got a really, really cool
I'll
kind of
be using
deep
that.
pan, non-stick pan.
Oh, you're
with a lid. She got that as from I believe her aunt got her that, and I'm looking at that going, sweet, can't wait to cook with that.
Yes, I got a whole new pot and pan set myself as well. Nice sleek black with like wood accents. I feel very fancy now.
I think I got 9 pairs of socks.
9 pairs.
Yeah,
nice. Not just the traditional
big
6.
sock here.
Yeah,
I just got 2, but I asked for. I needed more purple dress socks.
2 pairs of socks.
Dress socks.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I needed purple dress
socks. So those
socks.
usually come in the one pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Argyle socks or whatever. But
The purple dress socks, I like that.
Yeah.
So you look fancy in the child center.
Pilots games. Yeah.
by the way, have you gone to your Wazoo Portland
I might
Pilots
be
game
at
yet?
the child center tomorrow.
I will be there.
I know you will be there.
That's right.
I might be going to that game tomorrow.
Christmas
I
come late.
imagine tickets are available.
Plenty of good seats available. Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Wazoo at the child center
That's not
tomorrow.
sold out. I think we talked about this a few months ago. I believe there will be more Wazoo fans at that game
Than UP fans?
I believe so.
Because of the holiday?
Just because it's the first.
Well, yeah.
When
Is
does
it class-
Wazoo come to Portland to play basketball?
Never. I'm so jazzed about Wazoo and the WCC this year. I wish we were in this conference forever.
It would be
I do.
nice. Yeah.
I do. I love WCC basketball.
Figure out an independent football schedule and then stick in.
Yeah.
It would be great.
I love WCC basketball. I'm born and raised on
It
WCC
is weird.
basketball.
I did notice because I was watching Oregon State play in the Diamond Head Classic over the weekend. because the Pilots, after the Cougs come, we go to Corvallis on Monday. It's a brutal start to the conference schedule. Cougs, Beavers, Gonzaga, St. Mary's, San Francisco.
Ouch. And the Donnies are good.
Those are the 5 best teams in the conference.
Yeah.
Like they're all in the top 100 in the net rating.
Well,
This is what this delved into already, huh?
Feel the heat.
Hot WCC
Feel the heat,
basketball talk.
that's right, dude. WCC basketball.
But yeah, the WCC patch on the Cougs and the Beavs jerseys was like 10 times weirder than the Big Ten patch on the Ducks jerseys.
I'm sure. And
that was more of a shock to the system than.
And I think it's because the Big Ten and the Pac-10 were rivals for so long. So you're kind of like, okay, you're the Big Ten, the B1G on there. Plus the B1G is kind of a simple little logo. But WCC versus Pac-10, Pac-12, that's a different logo.
I love the mind games, the gymnastics you're playing right now. Like, who wants that Big Ten logo on their jersey?
Big Ten basketball is garbage.
Stupid.
WCC for life.
That is a legendary conference right there.
Although I will say, if the new Pac-12 does form and this actually gets off the ground, it's gonna be a nice little basketball conference.
Hey,
They just need one more football playing member to join.
It's gonna be a nice little
what are
basketball.
we doing?
conference.
606. Shouldn't we be talking about the pots and pans that we got for Christmas still? And
I don't know. I got brand new, gorgeous couple of chef's knives.
there you go.
So
I didn't get any cutlery, but yeah, new
no,
silverware,
it was
utensils.
I got kept working with these ancient. They were Henkels, but I don't know how old they are at that point.
That's a solid knife. I got
So
some
they were
Henkels
solid.
myself.
It was a little kitchen set. You had the block and 7 different knives and then some steak knives, but they were ancient. And I'm like, I need something that's, professional level.
We were at my dad's.
Joseph Fisher II.
Yes,
The
Junior.
great Joe Fisher.
Yes. And we were doing our thing as we usually do. He makes a great clam chowder every year for Christmas. This is a Fisher family tradition for 30 years now. But we made our way into the garage, and he was showing me some of his. Maybe that might have been happening.
Easy.
But he was sifting through some of his stuff because the garage is just filled with stuff.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was showing me some of his old memorabilia and sports cards. He had a 1991 unopened NFL Pro Set pack of cards.
Really?
Like a box.
Oh, like the whole set.
Yes, a box, Series
Tops?
1.
Was it Tops?
NFL Pro Set.
Oh, NFL Pro Set. Okay.
Yeah. I did not get that from him. for
Did he
Christmas.
just forget to open it, or is he holding on to
Dude,
it?
he had it in a tote with newspaper clippings from 1992, when I was born. And there was when the Blazers made the NBA Finals, he had the Oregonian of that article. And then the very next one was U.S. blows up Iraqi oil fields. And he had all these Oregonian.
Just to celebrate the life of Joseph Fisher III?
Yeah, just
Is
he's
that why you're
"Oh,
a
yeah,
Cowboy
this is-"
fan? Is Cowboys in that Super Bowl 91?
No.
It was the
It was-
91 season,
it was-
92 Super Bowl. Wait,
90
no.
No, it was 92,
92
93,
season,
and 95.
Yeah, those
Okay.
were the seasons.
Okay, so then that Super Bowl
Was
is
Washington.
Redskins Bills.
Yes, that was the year before.
Mark Rippon, Redskins Bills, go Cougs.
There you
Yes. But my dad also had a couple Wheaties boxes of Clyde Drexler and Michael Jordan as well that he was going through. The Wheaties were still in the box.
No way.
From 1992.
You got to open that bad boy up, dude.
I was very curious to see
Gotta
what those
open that
Wheaties
bad
looked
boy
like.
up.
Probably well preserved.
I would hope so. In the early 90s,
It's
they were probably
just dust
It's
in
just
the
Wheaties.
bag.
That's what
It's
I
just
Yeah,
said.
but
dust.
there's no sugar or anything to break them down. They should be well preserved.
Well, God only knows what preservatives they were throwing in there
Exactly.
in the early 90s. Yeah, I mean, those things might be just as fresh as they are now.
It's like the McDonald's hamburger on display from 20 years, and it kind of looks the same.
Yeah. It's oh, that looks just fine. I'll eat that.
I'll eat that.
Yeah, I was thinking about I was like, man, if you open those up and poured them into a bowl, on impact of the bowl, they just just turn into dust. Exactly.
You add milk to it, and it's just liquefied.
Yeah, we were going through. He had a bunch of old Dan Marino cards because he's a
Nice.
Dolphins fan. He had a
Nice.
bunch of cards still in the wrapper and everything like that. Might have to go get those things graded. It was a great Christmas though.
Do you ever open that 91 pack?
I really wanted to. I
Right.
started going through like articles to see like what are the most valuable cards of that
set.
Yes, apparently there is a Bill Belichick rookie coaching card.
Cleveland Browns?
Yes.
Nice.
That goes for a nice pretty penny if it gets graded well.
Well, they're untouched, so I have to imagine the grade is pretty good.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Well, you need to find out if the entire set
Yeah.
is of more significant value than any individual cards.
yeah, and it's not, unfortunately. I was like, that's what I thought of me not knowing anything about trading cards and seeing that. I was like, oh, you could probably sell that for like $250.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you've got this unopened set, and like, let's pretend it's worth $1,000. Okay, $1,000 is real money. It's $1,000 for this unopened complete set from 1991. If you spend that $1,000 to buy it, are you opening it, or do you just then hold on to it as a closed, unopened set?
I think at this point you just hold on to it.
Why have the unopened set? Is it just to like tease you for the rest of your life?
No, if you're purchasing it at this point, it's an investment.
So are you going to open it?
I don't know.
You're going to wait. You're going to wait for 2041 when it's 50 years old. All those players are dead.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to think too. Like, what is the most valuable year for NFL cards? Like, what card? I mean, in 91.
In recent time, now I don't know about cards and scarcity and error cards.
This is where we
and
need Schultze.
all that sort of stuff. But
he just knows that stuff.
He used to do a whole
Yeah.
YouTube ripping packs open and
God.
trading cards.
well, if you had the,
And
I mean, the 1983 NFL draft was one of the most memorable ones with Elway and Marino and the 6 quarterbacks going in the first round, all that stuff.
Or what about the 2024 draft of potentially 6 starting NFL quarterbacks right now? Right? Isn't that what it is?
Well, time will have to tell.
Well, J.J. McCarthy needs to have a healthy knee.
Yeah, but he was so good in the preseason.
Well,
He was.
we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Vikings finishing Darnold.
Right now, it says the most valuable NFL card in history, 2017 National Treasures Platinum Patrick Mahomes autograph, number 161, $4.3 million.
What?
Yeah.
Well, what? Okay, that's a specialty card, though, right? Platinum something. It's autographed.
A National Treasures Platinum. Okay.
Starring Nick Cage and Patrick Mahomes.
Whatever.
Autograph number 161 specifically. And then a Tom Brady card goes for 3.1. Isn't it wild that like these are the most valuable cards in history, yet baseball cards like
We're
you
still
get,
looking
like,
at Honus Wagner,
yeah,
maybe.
for like what 50 mil or something
Still
like
looking
that.
for Honus Wagner that looks like, a really talented 16-year-old drew it.
Yeah, I mean that is wild.
Looks like you cut it off a box. sort of
Okay,
thing.
maybe not 50 mil. The record though is the Mickey Mantle card, 13.1 mil adjusted price.
Oof. He was good.
The Honus Wagner, the one you're talking about with the Pittsburgh jerseys, just under 7 mil.
Swag, for your eyeballs, of the best baseball players you ever saw live, is it Honus Wagner or Mickey Mantle?
Okay, not you two.
Gosh, I just had to throw it in
Come
there.
on.
I had to
Look,
throw it
he
in there.
already said, 91 or whenever the year I was born. I'm like, crap, I was a junior in college.
I was 6.
Jesus.
I was 6, so I'm kind of there with you. Oakley Dokley, we got a show for you today. A lot to get to, a lot of football, a lot of college football. We got the Daily Ticker at 7:30. We'll check in on why I'm completely out on this. Talk to you about some boring overtimes that go down in college football, and we'll throw in a little baseball for fun, plus Sprague in the line at 8:30. So get your fake sponsors in. We got a lot to get to. Let's open up with the phenomenal, continual greatness that the NFL delivers to us on Thursday Night Football. We'll get there first. That's Joe Fisher. I'm Patrick Harris. This is Dirt and Sprague, 1080 The Fan.
day and all through the night.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
on 1080 The Fan.
What the hell is the meaning of this?
617 Portland Sports Leader, don't you forget it. We are live from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit VancouverFord.com. Guilty as charged. Bronco in the parking lot as we speak. Started it up this morning before I left the house using my app.
In one more window than Jason Sakanik.
Oh, is he a window? Is he short a window?
Yes. Well, maybe not anymore.
From
but-
this parking lot?
No, thank God. It was actually over by my girlfriend's house, which has me concerned every morning.
Every moment
that I've woken up
of
now.
my life.
But then
I
again,
am concerned about my safety.
I mean, come on. What are you going to break into? A brand new Bronco or an old Corolla? I mean, come on. Nothing sexier than a paid-off Toyota Corolla, they say.
Yep. You can't steal my car either.
Yes.
So there's it's got the push button thing, and you got to have the fob near it. And...
Do you use the old-timey wheel lock?
No, I wish.
Do people still use that?
Somebody got a club?
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. People with Corollas that are 10 years old probably
Should
got
I start
locks.
using that?
Oh man, I work in the Pearl, dude. You can't trust anything down there.
A wheel lock?
I had to the other day. I got to work, and one of our neighboring restaurants had left their plastic milk crate full of their recycled glass bottles, like empty liquor bottles. There was probably 8 in that. I'm guesstimating.
Good time.
Because somebody took each one of those and smashed them on the ground outside the door.
Oh, well, too good of a time.
Yeah, they're empty. So I wonder if they picked up each one, got the last little drops out of it, and then just.
Sounds like a party. I mean, I'm surprised that didn't happen down in Eugene.
It was a pain. It was an absolute nightmare to clean up.
Yeah, that's there's a good little stretch of road over by us outside the office here that's got 5 different glass piles.
Yeah.
And they're not from liquor bottles.
Where are they from?
Windows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's right over on 17th or something.
Yeah,
right over here.
that's the truth. Yeah, 15th between Everett and Gleason. Just on a sunny, cold day, the ground just sparkles.
Wow,
shimmering.
is that frost? Is it that cold out?
No, don't walk your dog there. Wear shoes.
Poor little cut-up paws.
We begin our fun Fiesta Friday here today with you, my friends. Welcome to the show. We're happy to have you with just the gift that keeps on giving, and that is Thursday Night Football in the NFL.
My God.
I was entertaining some guests at my house yesterday, so I was unable to watch the first half.
Because the game wasn't doing that for you.
Because I said to myself, I was like, I'm kind of busy, but I'll tune in for the second half.
You missed all the scoring.
And I missed all the fun. And I swear to you, I S you not, I watched about 20 minutes and said, nope, I can't do this.
I watched more than I'd like to admit. But then again, this time of year, I mean, this kind of goes with bowl season, is that... you're just chilling, relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing a whole lot. We're in post-Christmas mode, so it's really just, enjoy these last couple days to recharge. And so
Sure.
it's just throw something on the TV, background noise. And that's what it was last night, was Thursday Night Football background noise, because there was not a reason to pay attention to it, seemed like.
No.
Be like, oh, something's happening? Oh, no,
No.
that touchdown got called back. Okay, yeah, still no scoring.
And I got really excited because the Christmas Day games were early. So it was kind of there wasn't a Christmas night game.
Yeah, what time was the first game at?
9?
10.
10? Yeah, 9, 10 a.m., 10 a.m.
Yeah, because Houston and Baltimore, that travesty
10 and
was at
1:30.
1:30. Yeah,
I know. I kind of was watching the Chiefs-Steelers game, and I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. This game kind of works.
I had to look up ahead. My girlfriend's like, what time's that Houston game at? And I was like, what? I'm like,
Said nobody ever?
I was like, what? Why? She's like, well, Beyonce performs at halftime. I'm like, oh. I was like, well, the game starts at 1:30. You don't have to worry about that until 3:30.
3:30.
So,
Yeah, 3:30.
You're good.
And that was a travesty.
Yeah.
What's more of a I guess we get Lamar in Baltimore doing cool Lamar stuff. So that's a better game than Geno, Caleb.
At least someone scored touchdowns.
Someone scored in the second half.
Well, it was a record-breaking performance in that you had Lamar Jackson scoring or rushing for more yards as a quarterback than anybody in history. He surpassed Michael Vick now.
Record,
He's got him by 1 yard.
And
he should retire. Just own the record right now.
And last night was a record-breaking performance for the amount of times that you probably said this game effing sucks in one sitting.
Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah.
Yes.
57 rushing yards. That's the leader of the game.
Yeah, I think that all happened in the first drive.
In the first half. Yeah, he was a beast early on.
Yeah, it looked like the Seahawks were going to score on their first drive, which I think hasn't happened in 19 games for the Seahawks.
Ooh.
That was the one good thing that Kirk Herbstreit gave us last night was that stat nugget. That they have not scored.
The one good thing?
Oh, dude, he was. That was the worst part. Is that game sucked, and then I had to listen to Kirk Herbstreit on top of it.
Dude, you got to stop listening to announcers with football.
You know,
I watch announcer free on like primetime games just all the time. I love it.
Mute it and put some
dog
fish on or some.
No, I don't like fish. Dead only, dude.
Just listening to Grateful Dead while watching
well, half
games.
the bump back music is Grateful Dead when you watch sports these days.
I like to party.
Yeah. I sometimes watch the Manning cast.
Oh, there you go.
Sometimes I watch the Manning cast because I like the guests, unless it's Belichick.
Yeah, with Amazon, you don't really have a choice. You have that, then they have the next gen AWS broadcast.
Yeah, they have those that with some extra stats and graphics and things like that. But it's
Spanish
the same
broadcast.
They used to have an alternate. They used to have an alternate broadcast. I think it was Hannah Storm and Leslie Visser or something like that when they first started doing it, but they didn't want to continue to pay for two. Because there's a Spanish broadcast, you could flip over to the Spanish broadcast.
I might just do that next year with Amazon's Thursday Night Football.
There you go.
Do you think there's a guy in the truck? It's like the middle of the third quarter, and he's like got Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit in there. He's in their ear, and it's the third quarter, and this game is an absolute train wreck. Like, when do you just run out of topics? Like, Swag, you do play by play.
Yes.
What do you do when you get to halfway through the second half and you have exhausted everything you prepped for because the game is so atrocious that there's nothing to do?
For a Thursday night game, you start parlaying into, especially at this point, into
playoffs and the
weekends coming up, that sort of discussion. The problem is the game was still in doubt. It's different when you get like the Ravens situation where they're blowing them out. And you can start to project now, okay, they'll get this win. This slots them in here. Potential playoff matchups. Can they still get this seed? You can have those sorts of discussions. What's a better matchup? Is there a defense there that's got, Lamar's number, so to speak, or has found some sort of formula to keep him under control? Those sorts of things. The problem was the game was still in doubt. As crappy as the game was that was being played, you actually had to pay attention because the game, the lead could shift on any one play.
This is why Al Michaels is going to retire. This will be it.
I thought he was coming back. It's $15 million a year for one game a week. Are you kidding me?
But $15 million a year. I mean, I know that's easy to say, but Al Michaels has made a ton of money. I don't know if I can do $15 million a year if I got Seattle at Chicago 6-3 at halftime and that's the final score.
You knew that game was going to be bad.
Gino's the passing leader with 160 yards.
Well, once it was a deluge, once the rain started pouring, you're like, okay. Defenses were better than the offenses on both sides. But if I saw Thursday after Christmas and the better team was the road team traveling, like that was a no-brainer to go under. Like it was going to be a crappy game.
What was the spread on this game?
I think it was like 3.5.
It wasn't a lot.
Something like that, yeah. So the Bears covered.
3.5.
Bears covered, baby.
Bears covered. Backdoor cover at the end of the second half, end of the first half.
Apparently, there was also someone in Vegas that bet $176.19 on no touchdown being scored in the game. Walked away with $23,000.
Wow!
What a night! I'm sure he loved that game. He was locked in from the beginning to the end.
Just yelling at your TV. Do not catch that football.
He had the one called back.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams,
He's like
they had the
yelling
one
at
called
his
back.
TV. That's a flag! That's a flag!
They had a defensive touchdown that was called back. That That was one moment. Well, actually, probably many moments I felt bad for Bears fans, but last night especially, I felt really bad for Caleb Williams because he had some good plays. He made some good throws. He was trying his damnedest out there.
Well, not that I'm saying he doesn't prepare, but does he prepare?
Dude, I can't. Kirk Herbstreit basically went on there and was just like, time will only tell if he is, able to be a professional NFL quarterback. Being the first guy that enters, last guy that leaves. There's nothing that says that he's not that. But, let
me spend the next 5 minutes on a diatribe on why I don't think he is.
Why would you say that then?
Is it because Caleb played in the Pac-12? So he's not a Big Ten guy, so Herbie's not all about him?
Well, also anything that Herbstreit can do to just crap on the game of football.
For a guy who's like the spokesman of football.
Yeah, what cracked me up last night is they were talking about the NFC West playoff picture, and that if like the Rams and Seahawks have the same record, then it comes down to strength of victory. And I'm sure Herbstreit was just like frothing at the mouth. He'd be like, "Well, who's the best team? Not the most deserving. I don't care about record and wins."
Should we get a committee together to decide which one of these teams goes to the playoffs?
No, fortunately, the NFL has like 17 different tiebreakers.
Yeah,
and
I
eventually gets to a coin flip.
I think I heard it would go down to like the 5th tiebreaker for the Rams and Seahawks, and the Seahawks lose that.
Strength
the
of
Rams
victory
can
or
actually,
something?
the Rams could clinch it this week if a series of
other events
games, they would clinch the strength of victory tiebreaker. They need like 4 out of 6 teams to win.
Another couple good tweets
Putting
that
some parlays in.
A couple good tweets. Yeah, right. For that all to happen.
McVay's got a parlay bet in.
Another couple good tweets I saw last night was that Herbstreit was like, the Chicago Bears should be on the playoffs because they play in the toughest division. I don't want to hear about wins, okay? They play in the vaunted NFC North.
Meanwhile, every other team in the vaunted NFC North has like 8 more wins than the Bears.
Include the Bears. They play the toughest schedule. They're one of the most tested teams. I think you should include them over the NFC South.
We come back crapping all over college football featuring Kirk Herbstreit.
Oh, my God.
All right, speaking of that, let's kind of stick in the NFL, and the Bears are intriguing. Are the Bears the best open job on the market? What else would tickle your fancy? We can predict some people whether they get fired or not get fired, McCarthy, things like that. What is the best open job in the NFL going into next season as this season of the NFL winds down? We'll do that next, but first, there's Swag with Sports.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, Seahawks weren't worried about style points on a cold, rainy night in Chicago. They sacked Bears quarterback Caleb Williams 7 times. Reek Woolen grabbed the game-sealing interception in the final minute as nary a touchdown was scored in Seattle's 6-3 victory. That keeps them alive for the moment for the NFC West Division title. Scoot Henderson's turnaround 15-foot jumper with 1/10 of a second remaining, giving the Blazers their 10th win of the season, 122-120 over the Jazz. Denny Abdia and Shaden Sharp each with 27 points to lead Portland's fourth-quarter comeback. Mavericks are at Moda Center Saturday night for a 7 p.m. tip, but Dallas will be without Luka Doncic for at least a month after he sustained a strained calf muscle in their Christmas Day loss to the Timberwolves. Bowl game action continuing today over on 910 ESPN. Portland will start at 3:30 this afternoon. Texas Tech takes on Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl. That'll be followed by USC and Texas A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl. At 5 o'clock on Fox 12 Oregon, it's Washington State facing Syracuse in the Holiday Bowl. They will be without John Mateer at quarterback, nor head coach Jake Dickert. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand. Just Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Got a smart speaker? It's The Fan. Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
on 1080 The Fan.
Coming over the second hour, 7 o'clock hour, we'll get to the college football playoff. Plus, we have the daily ticker and why I'm out on the hat that I'm wearing currently. A lot to get to today. Plus, Sprague in the line at 8:30. So get your fake sponsors in the Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. That lets you interact with us throughout the entire show. Shout out to the YouTube crowd if you're out there. We're here, so it's a Merry Xmas to all of you. Thank you for joining us. Our beautiful faces on the YouTube stream.
Yes, baggy eyes and all.
Yeah, I felt a little glossed over. I took a shower and then I had to lotion up my head and my face. And
you lotion up your head?
Yeah. It was dry skin,
Hot.
man.
Me
dry
too.
Skin, dude. And I started driving in and I could tell my eyes were probably bloodshot. And I was worried about walking in here, looking at the old YouTube stream and thinking, is that guy been up all night?
Gotta have a face for stream. Not a face for TV, a face for streaming.
Face for streaming now. Yeah. You get that, Joe? You got a great face for radio.
Oh,
when you meet strangers,
yeah,
and you're
everybody,
I do a little radio.
That's the classic radio joke that people think. Yeah, exactly. That people have said a million times, and they still think it's funny when they say it.
Was there anything else I can get you when I speak to a table? How about a winning lottery ticket?
Oh, that's like at the checkout stand at the grocery store when something's not scanning. I guess it must be free then.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut the hell up. I hate my life.
If I had an extra winning lottery ticket, do you think I would be standing here talking to you? You peasant.
Yes.
For fun.
Yes.
I got to work for fun.
Yeah.
So I don't get bored.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't get bored.
Yeah, I'm a millionaire, but, I like to hang out with the common folk still.
Well, we were talking about Thursday Night Football last night and the Bears and the situation with Caleb Williams. Now, I'm not saying he's not the first guy in and the last guy out, but
time will tell.
Time will tell. But it kind of got me thinking about the best open job for next year. Now, there are some jobs that are not open yet that we think could be open.
Well,
so I'm willing to throw in any possibilities.
Well, Bill Barnwell, he had a list that he came out with just yesterday on ESPN about the ranking the best head coach openings, and 7 of these still have
head coaches.
They're head coaches from this year, and they're we can assume.
So I'm willing to entertain the idea of, let's say, McCarthy's out in Dallas. Let's pretend.
Dude, that's probably not going to happen.
Stefanski's out in Cleveland. Both of those I don't think are going to happen.
I wouldn't say, either of those are
But
gonna happen.
I'm willing to entertain both of those for the benefit of this conversation.
God, if you would have asked me about McCarthy 5 weeks ago, I would have been he's gone. And now
and
all
now
of a
they're
sudden,
playing okay with a backup quarterback.
Oh, dude, it's driving me absolutely nuts. Just playing.
Swag's glad he got off that train.
The defense playing like gangbusters against the Buccaneers on Monday night or
all of
Sunday
a sudden
night.
They're inspired.
I'm like, what the hell is this? You guys, draft picks.
Watch them narrowly lose to the Eagles this weekend.
No, they'll probably win.
Yeah, they'll probably
win for some stupid reason.
4 more years.
God.
What would you say, Joe? So let's we know Chicago's open.
Right.
Let's see.
I don't think that intern's keeping that one.
We know the Jets are open.
Yes. No. I'm just saying don't go there.
Yeah.
Whatever coach. There's going to be a coach that goes there.
We know
Obviously,
the Saints are open.
Yes.
We know Carolina's open.
I think Carolina will not be open.
No, they got a first-year coach. That's Dave Canales.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm thinking of last year. My bad. I think we can assume Jacksonville's going to be open.
Probably should be.
I know it's not, but I mean, of all the coaches that have
figure
jobs,
out their owner though. Their owner doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but I also don't see. I don't know. What is Doug Peterson doing anything there that makes you think he's staying?
The way that team was going, even before Trevor Lawrence's injury, did not inspire any confidence. So I don't see why.
And if you're telling me Trevor Lawrence, it's like McCarthy in Dallas. Oh, Dak got hurt, so let's not blame this on McCarthy. It's like that team sucked with him.
Peterson has gone 4-17 in the past 21 games.
Yeah, dude, he's got to go,
including a 3-12 mark this season. I just don't think that it comes to a point where you've lost the room.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you're at in Jacksonville.
And then, of course, the national media thinks Kyle Shanahan should get fired, so is the Niners a good job?
Well, that's not going to happen.
But between those, let's say Jacksonville, I'm willing to throw the Giants in there. I think Dable's not safe. I know you said we were talking during the break. I also agree with you that I don't think Dable should get fired.
No.
But I could see a world in which he does.
Yeah,
New quarterback coming in.
Didn't the owner already come out and say he's not making any changes? Not that he can't go back, but usually when Mara says we're sticking with it.
Mara, I might believe. But
he's
most
not one to...
That's usually the kiss of death.
Yeah. They need a clean house in the front office. I don't think it's a Dayball problem.
No, I think that I think now that they can completely wipe their hands of the Daniel Jones mess and Dable can go into this draft with with probably the first pick in the draft if it still plays out that way over the next couple of weeks. I mean, I think the Giants right now do have the worst record in the NFL, thanks to the Raiders getting a win last week.
Idiots.
So, I mean, they could very well go into this draft with the number 1 overall pick, and then you're looking at Shador or your boy, Cam Ward, possibly. It would probably be Shador. But that's where I think that...
I want the Raiders to draft Cam Ward.
Well,
just to watch
that's
that
a perfect match.
Higher fire.
I don't
just
know who's going to get that coaching gig.
Just burn. But yeah, of these jobs, the Bears has to be the best job. Unless the Bengals come open.
Offensively, yes. I mean, because you have the weapons, you have the players.
And the defense is pretty good.
Defense is all right. I would say that the prospect of being the coach that gets to clean up Caleb Williams and some of the things he still needs to get better. Because, again, watching Caleb Williams this year, I think that he has been pretty damn good. It's just the team around him and the coaching has put him in bad spots.
Well, the culture is really bad there, and that's what you hear mostly is that someone's got to come in and do the culture. And is that a Mike Vrabel? I was texting with you last night. Pete Carroll might be interested in the Chicago job. He's a culture guy. Like, you need a culture guy, but is culture more important than getting, say, an offensive-driven dude like a Ben Johnson to fix Caleb? Or does culture just fix Caleb?
I think it is.
I don't even know if there's anything wrong with Caleb. I think it's just that team is bad.
But you need somebody who can provide some structure for Caleb and who can hold him accountable and just tell him, it's like, look, no matter how bad your offensive line is, we're going to overhaul it, but we're going to have some young guys and they're going to have some learning curves.
Can't be worse than it is now.
You cannot hang on to the football for 3.5 seconds.
That's true.
You're going to get yourself killed in the NFL. You can't do it.
You kind of shook this off. You think Pete Carroll's a bad idea?
Yeah, because you look at where your strength is on that team. It's on the perimeter, and you've got a quarterback. His modus operandi is ground and pound and play action. That's not what Caleb does, and that's not what those receivers are going to do.
Yeah, I think you need a modern offensive coach, at least at OC, to be able to unleash this offense. And then, having a Vrabel and having a culture guy at the head coach position would be good, but you need to have someone on the offensive side that is going to be able to take advantage of what you have weapons-wise.
Say Vrabel does get that job. Can he call, like, Josh McDaniels?
I mean, he could. I don't see why you'd want to.
Why not?
I mean, I hear what you're saying. There's sometimes...
I think we have to remember that just because we all don't like Josh McDaniels doesn't mean he's not good at his job as an offensive coordinator.
Well, and that's the thing. Is like sometimes...
Well, the only place he was good as his job was with Tom Brady.
That's
very true. But if you've got, a Belichick-esque type guy at the top, does that formula work? Because remember, Brady's just a system guy. It was all Belichick.
Well, and also the thing with offensive coordinators is like where is the one quarterback coach? Where is the guy that is currently in waiting somewhere that wants to make that jump to OC?
Who's the Ben Johnson before Ben Johnson?
Right. Yeah, and that's where you have
I think the most important thing for the head coach is going to be handling Ryan Poles. Poles is definitely in charge there. So you got to have a coach who's going to be able to, on the culture side, and this is why you hear, Pete Carroll's name about, because he had that relationship. It was back and forth with Schneider. Carroll's not going to take the job unless he's got a certain amount of influence in his contract on personnel. I don't know if Poles would go for that. So I think that's the most important thing right there. Is the coach going to be allowed to come in and institute whatever it is the coach wants, system-wise, culture-wise, all that sort of stuff.
Real quick, since we're up against it, what's the worst job?
I don't go to the Jets.
The Jets.
Is it the worst job?
That article that came out on The Athletic.
The bulk of that is accurate,
yeah.
Which I don't have any reason.
There was
to
3
believe.
writers on that article. I would think that it's
especially if Woody Johnson's
3 of them,
going to have some role in the new administration, and he's not there,
and his sons,
and no way.
Well, and reading that article,
I would take the Raiders job before that job.
Ouch.
Well, reading that article is
Woody Johnson has surpassed the Davis kids
as being one of the worst owners.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Wow.
At least from what I understand is that Mark Davis is somewhat likable to people in that organization.
Well, his wife's madly in love with him.
So that's the one thing he has going for him. Is
Mark
some
Davis,
people
though, he's been around the league, he wants to. I think he's trying in his way. Now, how he goes about it is, not effective, but I believe he's fully engaged in trying to do it in a traditional football manner.
Yeah. Don't go to the Jets. I mean, the Saints might be interesting, but you have a quarterback problem there as far as who that's going to be in the future.
The Raiders is a mess. I think the Jags would be a really rough sell too. I mean, there's rumors they might shop Trevor Lawrence.
Well, I mean, you just signed him to that contract, so you can't do that.
You can, because there are teams out there that would trade for him. Would the Raiders give up their number 2 overall for Trevor Lawrence?
Probably not.
Maybe.
I wouldn't.
Not coming off an injury.
No. Again, I think Jacksonville. I don't know if stuck is the right word, but you just signed him to that deal, and there's not going to be a team that, like Spike said, coming off an injury that is clamoring to get Trevor Lawrence. And he didn't play that great to get that contract.
I know.
I mean, it was one of those well, next guy up, he's got to get paid.
We got him. He's ours.
I don't know. The Jacksonville job is enticing to an extent. Having Brian Thomas, the rookie receiver at LSU, he's had a great year. I think it would be enticing for a head coach, maybe an offensive-minded head coordinator coach to go there. But again, I think the best job on paper is that Chicago job.
All right, we come back. Is this the best quarterback that we're not talking about because his team sucks? We'll stick in the NFL a little bit longer. This is Dirt and Sprague Hot Corner Edition. Today, the Fan.
is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
on 1080 The Fan.
Loaded second hour coming up. College football playoff, daily ticker. Plus Pitt Panthers, some hot Pitt action last night.
Pitt basketball?
Pitt football.
No. Bowl season, baby.
Bowl season.
Catch the
Bowl
fever.
season. Catch the fever. There's a big slate tonight, including my Cougs.
Yeah, I'm looking
Five
forward
games
to it.
in all today.
Yeah,
We start
exactly.
at 9 a.m.
Let's
Start
go.
at 9 a.m. I'm going
with
to
the
put that
Armed
game.
Forces Bowl.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to put that game on. And over under 8 minutes left in the first before I fall asleep.
The first one at 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, Oklahoma Navy.
That is a great thing about bowl season. Again, it's just being that background noise, and especially today. Yeah, the slate from 9 a.m. to 7:30. Well, that 7:30 game that's going to go until 10:30.
11.
Yeah, 11. Right. Yeah.
Well, I'm actually like gonna nap so I can watch Arsenal Ipswich 12:15 today.
Oh, you got to watch the lads,
The
huh?
lads, yeah.
Oh, they didn't play on Boxing Day like everybody else?
No, 2 games today.
Oh.
I gotta spread it out. The EPL follows the NFL model. They know what's going on.
Joey got a sick Liverpool jumpsuit for Christmas.
Did he?
Oh yeah, he looked like he was about to jump on the jet and get ready to
Get
jump
on the pitch?
Yeah,
Out
yesterday.
there with Mo
against-
Salah?
Yeah, and play Leicester City yesterday.
It was a good game. I enjoyed that.
Hey, they came back.
It came back, yeah.
Got a
Good
dub.
Good little dub. Good little dub.
Especially after kicking Tottenham's ass earlier in the week.
Such a
Settle
wild game.
down.
Such a wild game. This season is so weird in the Premier League. But, Liverpool haven't played anybody, so
Well, that's how it is.
that's what they say.
That's how it is when you're at the top of the standings.
I got a question for you, my friends. Just looking at the ridiculous stats that this man is putting up this year, if the Bengals aren't garbage, is Joe Burrow not the best quarterback in the NFL?
Oh, dude, it's one of the most.
It is
like
insane.
as far as like quarterback performance not matching the teams. Like Caleb Williams is right up there. He had the rookie record before last night, or it was close to it, of like most pass attempts without an interception for a rookie. It was like 324 pass attempts. Besides Caleb Williams, like Joe Burrow, as far as his performance not matching his team's record, that is like the outlier of the season. There isn't another team that I can think of where a quarterback is outperforming his team's output. Granted, his defense sucks.
I mean, you could argue like Josh Allen is outperforming his team's output,
but they're good.
But they're good, yeah.
I mean, like they're gonna get the number 2 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, like Mahomes is not outperforming his team.
He's been playing great the last few weeks, but
Agreed.
I mean,
but the team has kind of held a lot of that together.
when you look at the rest of the NFL, I mean, as far as teams that are overperforming their quarterback's play or underperforming, I mean, like that is the outlier where he is literally putting the team on his back.
He's got almost 4,300 yards. He's got 39 touchdowns.
That's got to lead the league.
Oh, both of these lead the
Yeah.
league. 39 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. How many times has Joe Burrow been sacked?
Oh gosh, I'm probably gonna go somewhere in the high 40s.
37.
Okay,
Not
all
bad.
right.
He has been sacked 2 times less than touchdowns he has thrown.
I just saw Caleb Williams last night get sacked for his like 69th time, so I'm just like, oh, Burrow, he must have been sacked like 40
That
times.
reminds me, one of my all-time favorite This Is SportsCenter commercials it's David Carr for the Texans. And he's like, the huddle's broken, and he's walking up to the line, and he's doing the Peyton Manning thing. He's like pointing, red 80, and he's like yelling, there's the mic, 58's the mic. And then he goes down to under center, and they have digitally removed the entire offensive line. And it says, what does your team need? NFL draft next Thursday. And it's just him under center with no offensive line because he was sacked like 500 times his rookie year.
Yeah, I think he has 2 of the 3 most sacked seasons in NFL history.
But I'm asking, if this team is 8-8 right now, if this team is 10-6 right now, whatever the math is he not the MVP? Or are we still talking Josh Allen because it's like NBA style and it's his turn?
Well, again, if this team is in playoff contention, well, I mean they still are, but if they are in the fight for the 3 seed
Or
and
the
with the
division.
Ravens for the division, something like that, then I think Burrow definitely has to have MVP consideration. But your team is 7-8. You are outside of the playoffs
I can't believe
right
they
now.
have 7 wins.
I'm not surprised because that defense again
is
is
just so
atrocious. Like them holding the Browns last week was more so. Yeah, we get to play DTR in his first start since last season. All right, basically a rookie quarterback essentially is what it comes across as.
There were no free tutties from famous.
No, yeah,
famous Jameis.
Honestly, playing Jameis, that would have been a confidence boost for that defense too. Yeah, because they would have gotten a couple picks.
All right, loaded second hour coming up. We'll kick it off with the college football playoff. Chat a little bit if you enjoyed the first round and what we're looking forward to the most in the second round. Loaded second hour. Don't go anywhere. Dirt and Sprague, 1080 The Fan.
By the Odyssey app.
KFXX KWJJ HD2 Portland, an Odyssey sports station. Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, Seahawks going by the old adage, a win is a win. It wasn't pretty in Chicago on a cold and rainy night. Just 2 Jason Myers first-half field goals were enough to beat the Bears as the Seahawks D sacked Bears quarterback Caleb Williams 7 times. Rick Wolin had the game-sealing interception in the final minute. And now Seattle hoping the Cardinals can beat the Rams to set up a winner-take-all NFC West division game against L.A. next Sunday. Scoot Henderson's turnaround jumper with a tenth of a second remaining gave the Blazers a 10th win of the season. They beat the Jazz 122-120. Both Shaden Sharp and Denny Avdia had 27 points, leading Portland's fourth quarter comeback. They'll host the Mavericks Saturday night. Dallas going to be without Luka Doncic for the next month. He sustained a strained calf muscle in their Christmas Day loss to the Timberwolves. Bowl action continues on this Friday, 5 games in all, featuring at 5 o'clock on Fox 12 Oregon, Washington State in the Holiday Bowl against Syracuse. The Cougs, unfortunately, will not have starting quarterback John Mateer, who hit the transfer portal, nor head coach Jake Dickert, who took the Wake Forest job. Doubleheader over on 910 ESPN. Portland starts at 3:30. Texas Tech will face Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl, followed by USC and Texas A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand at the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
This is your home for year-round NFL coverage. The Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan. Dirt and Sprague on Football Friday on 1080 The Fan.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app, follow 1080 The Fan, and enable push notifications to get the latest on the Ducks, Beavers, Blazers, and more.
Dirt and Sprague on 1080 The Fan.
Welcome in the second hour of this Hot Corner edition of Dirt and Sprague. If you missed any of the first hour, you can download that Fan podcast at 1080thefan.com. Wherever you get your podcasts, the Odyssey app, and including things that end with Schmish Mortified. Patrick Harris, Joe Fisher in with you on this Football Friday edition.
What up?
The Vancouver Ford text line, Jordan asks, has Woody Johnson surpassed David Tepper as the worst owner in the NFL? And I find these questions hilarious because I think there's always there's Dan Snyder. You're like, that guy sucks.
Well, thank God he's
sucks.
gone.
Yeah.
But there's exceptions to the rule that don't count. It's kind of like hockey. When you're talking about the greatest players in hockey of all time, you got the great one, and then you start talking, And I think Woody Johnson might be the worst, and then we start talking about the worst owners.
There is...
you own this. This is yours.
No.
Now we talk about the other trash.
We're talking about just a person being a despicable human versus being a bad owner.
Okay.
So,
like the Donald Sterling versus...
yeah.
Well, I think he checked both those boxes.
So
despicable human and bad owner.
I don't know if Woody's eccentric and makes, knee-jerk. I have no frame of reference for how he actually treats people. I don't know.
Well, what's funny? Well, also the fact that when he came back from his UK ambassador job, in that article, it was said that he was making sure to tell people to refer to him as Mr. Ambassador.
Mr. Ambassador.
So I think that kind of gives you a look into what kind of person he is.
I think it's supposed to be Ambassador Johnson.
Yeah. No, he wanted to be called Mr. Ambassador.
What?
Yeah.
Is he throwing drinks on people?
Yeah. See, David Tepper did do that. You know what's funny about Jerry Jones, too, is that, as an owner, he's probably one of the best owners in the league.
One of the best owners.
Yeah.
As a GM, probably the worst GM.
Yeah.
It's like, those are definitely two different things there. But as an owner, he's great.
Switching over to college football, as the playoffs coming up, you can hear right here, 1080 The Fan, home of the Ducks. We got through the first round. We were kind of chatting about this in the break.
Yeah, we need to change it, man.
It's just not working.
No, yeah.
It's like I went on one date with this girl, and nope, I'm out.
Well, I mean, sometimes you can't figure that out.
Sometimes you can't figure that out. But I think what was cool is, and we were kind of talking about this in the break, is you did get to see huge games. I remember watching the Ohio State-Tennessee game, and there was a stat that flashed on the screen that it said it was the first December game at the Horseshoe in the history of Ohio State. I was like, well, that's kind of cool.
The environments were great. The atmospheres were great.
Cool. The games were just trash.
Well, and also they were saying this is the first time really for a lot of these stadiums too, and these having to factor in the environment and the weather and some of these November games. You'll get some of that, but again, usually by this time of year, you're playing in a bowl game at a location where the weather's usually pretty good. These schools that were hosting the playoff games are usually in big bowl games, playoff games or the New Year's Six where, they're in indoor or nice locations like Arizona, or you're playing in a Big Ten championship game or an SEC championship game
which is in a dome.
Yeah,
Jerry
exactly.
World
It's like,
or Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, as you mentioned, Ohio State having a December game. A game in South Bend, Indiana in early December. Mighty cold.
Yeah, mighty cold.
Penn State, like all these having those locations and being in December chilly games, like SMU having to go from 70-degree Dallas to 25-degree Penn State, like that is a huge difference and something that was kind of refreshing to see.
I'm with you, Joe, that I am not a believer in like, all these games were blowouts, so we need to go to 16 or 8 was the right answer. I think the only thing I wish, because of how awesome those environments are, I wish all those teams that hosted a game now have to go on the road to a hosted game. Like, I want Texas to have to go to Arizona State. I want Ohio State to have to come back to Autzen. Yeah. I want to see Penn State on the Smurf turf in Boise. That is my only thing. Like, I understand because the bowls and, I'm actually really, and we'll talk about this in a moment, I'm actually really excited about the Rose Bowl, and I'll tell you why in about 10 minutes. But that's what I want to see. It's almost like you got rewarded by not having a bye, because you get to play at home.
Yep.
And if you're an AD, if you're an AD and you are, let's say you're being honest with yourself and you're Penn State, you're not that you have Boise State. Let's pretend you have Oregon next and you're going to get housed, all right? You are happier you didn't win the Big Ten because you have another home game. That's the only thing I wish, is I wish the next round was a home game. Because, Oregon is undefeated and they miss out on hosting a college football playoff game. I want to see a playoff game at Autzen. Well, I want to see a playoff game in Boise.
And this is where I would love that too, but also the way that this format is, what would you rather have is, would you rather play an extra game at home, or would you rather just not play at all? And I am in the latter of those two. I'd rather just take a break, and people say that's such a long break between games. It's like, yeah, but this was already happening in previous playoffs.
Yeah, of course. I 100% agree with you on that. I do think you're rewarded more than you should for not getting a bye.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Ohio State is now going to, let's say Ohio State loses and Oregon wins, but they lose in the next round to, say, Texas, okay? Ohio State made more money off going to the playoff than Oregon did.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but also I don't know if Ohio State's going to look at that and be like, well, we made more money. Yeah, we didn't go as far, but we made more money.
Yeah, but there's people in the back that are saying that. The AD obviously wants to win natties, and there's a Ryan Day situation, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I get that. But there are people on campus that work for the administration that are going, well, we made a lot of money doing this.
And I get that, but that is such a small percentage of what makes up a football team organization.
You're right, because money is not everything in college football.
No,
it's about
not at all.
Athlete.
Not at all. But again, do you really think the fans are going to be like, well, we made more ticket money? You think the players, you think the coach is like, well, we made more at the gate?
No, but somebody is there.
Yes, I get that. And trust me, I don't know what, and I heard it, on the ESPN guys before us. I mean, I think it was Meyer and Metcalf throwing out the, if you're going to change something, if you want to include the conference winners in the top 12, like Arizona State and Boise State making it, yes, I'm all for that. But have the top 4 teams be the top 4 teams. So,
let it be Oregon, Texas, Georgia,
Ohio State.
That's
and
your top
have
4.
Them get the first round bye. And Arizona State, let them host a first round game.
Okay.
Being a conference winner. If you won the conference, you get to host a first round game.
If you don't get the bye.
Yes. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
If you are a top 4 team and you are ranked accordingly, why are you not getting a bye? I understand that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So, in that sense,
Also, how did the Big 12 get a bye? That conference sucks.
See, and that's the thing, is that
because you had an upset in the conference title game.
Yep.
That's Clemson.
Yep, that's why.
Yeah, I understand why. Are there things that need to be changed? Sure. But also, after 1 year of what we got in the first round, I don't think we need to be knee-jerk and like, all right, well, now we need to make it 16 teams, or now we need to just go down to 8.
I think eventually they want to get to 16 teams.
I think that they will eventually do that too. There's no reason why you can't be doing the same thing as the FCS, not to that extent, but having more teams and
the
having
the FCS has done it for decades.
Yeah, they've been doing
it.
Yes, exactly.
Of everything in the first round, which one of these teams stands out to you the most?
Notre Dame.
I was gonna say if it's not what Ohio State did, because as an Oregon fan, I am sitting here shaking in my boots.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
I think it's just the fact of just being in this position and being just nervous already. Like, even if Oregon beats Ohio State, I'm still going to be a nervous wreck for the next round.
Yeah.
And if they win that one, I'm going to be a nervous wreck until the championship game. Like, it is so like, it's hard to describe this feeling of having this perpetual fear of what could happen,
of the Buckeyes,
of the things that could happen great, the things that could go wrong. Like, it is just nerve-wracking. But Notre Dame, as far as if you take away the Ohio State, the local factor, what Notre Dame has been doing the last few weeks, and that defense, the Notre Dame-Georgia game is the one I'm looking forward to the most. I mean,
interesting.
I love the Arizona.
Like taking your biases out of it, obviously, because
I love the Arizona State story. I'm intrigued to see how they stack up against Texas and what Cam Scatabo does.
Same with Boise State. I really want to see if Ashton Genty can run on that Penn State defense, or if that offense can stay hot.
I mean, and look what he did against the number 1 team in the country and how close that game was against Oregon. At the time, nobody knew. Maybe people just thought this was an outlier game and that, Boise State got
Oregon was off to a slow start.
And then they ended up still just running the table, winning the Mountain West, and Ashton Genty having one of the best seasons of all time. So whether you're able to replicate that against a Penn State team whose defense is pretty good as well, and after what they just did against SMU, making them look pedestrian.
Notre Dame's your best story coming out of round 1.
And as far as who are the who's playing some of the best defense in the country, it's Notre Dame, and Georgia has been playing some of the best defense all throughout the entire season, from game 1 against Clemson to what they've been doing through their SEC schedule.
Well, let's hang on to this. Let's get into the next round. What intrigues us most? Plus, I got a little fun tidbit on the Rose Bowl that I'm very, very excited about. We'll get to that. Let's stick with college football playoff here. Dirt and Sprague, 1080 The Fan.
me what I am, and I play this game for keeps.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
On 1080 The Fan.
Me what I am, and I play the hand.
All right, Daily Taker coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll travel to the Holiday Bowl for that bad boy. Sprague in the line at 8:30, so get your fake sponsors in for that. Have the boys sent you their picks yet? Or are we still waiting on them to get their boots in together?
I would be shocked if they did.
You got none, huh? Well,
I don't think that's going to happen.
is this your chance to get ahead? Swag, can you
They
make
said it
some
because
ground?
I was on the road for a Pilots game and did not get him in and took an offer. So
I heard that.
They set the bar.
Wow.
So.
They're not as forgiving as me.
F around and find out.
Well,
is where we are.
Well, one time they were on the first road trip. I was in Myrtle Beach with the Pilots, and I could not find cell service. I'm like, I can't. I had them, and I was trying to text them, and I finally got there.
Yeah,
The Ohio trip, I flat out forgot.
that's all right.
Yeah,
we'll let it slide.
That's happened twice to Rashad. The first time I gave him a pass, and I'm like, all right, hypothetically, what would you have taken?
And he hit 3 for 3.
No, I think he actually gave me a 1 for 2 slate.
Nice.
I was like,
being
you know what?
honest.
I was like, for integrity, I'll give you that. And then I gave him an 0 for the
time.
second time. I was like, dude, come on now.
Chatting about the college football playoff, you guys are in agreement that Notre Dame was your standout in the first round. Coming into the second round, I'll start with this as we kind of look at some of these games. It's so funny because I actively root against both of these schools and have for the majority of my entire lifetime. I am very excited that the Rose Bowl is Pac-10 Big Ten.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Oh, yeah.
I'm very, very excited. Do I think Oregon got hosed in their slate? Yes, of course. Do I think the committee stacked the deck against Oregon? I do believe that. And I do believe that they did it intentionally. But I will say thank you for giving this, 14-year-old kid from Spokane, Washington, the Rose Bowl of Big Ten, Pac-10. Thank you.
In this world of college football that we now live in, where
None of this matters anymore.
and where traditions seem to be completely broken, getting a traditional Pac-12 Big Ten Rose Bowl, yes, that is the one. I wanted Oregon to play Tennessee because as far as having another notch on your belt of we took care of Ohio State, Penn State, we beat Michigan, won the Big Ten, and we beat a SEC team. That was one thing I wanted them also to have on this run. But beating Ohio State twice and beating them in the Rose Bowl would also be a nice notch
It's funny.
as well.
See, I think it's the completely opposite. I don't think it was done intentionally to stack. Part of it was the structure and format that was in place created more of a mess because of how the conference champions broke down.
Mm-hmm.
I think they actually took their responsibility in the room. All we got to do is rank the top 25 teams. And because they were completely oblivious to the structure and how it would affect things when they did that with the conference champions getting into the buys, I think they were in a bit of a no-win situation. I think they actually tried to rank the teams in order for the top 25. I think there will be changes to how much weight and consideration is given to different things in the room next time around.
Yeah, because this is something I was talking about with my buddy who I do a podcast with when these first rankings were coming out and then the rankings were being plugged into the bracket, is that, like Swag said, is like they were thinking about, all right, who is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's like, all right, now let's plug all this into the bracket. And it's
I don't think they did that in the room. I don't think there was a bracket up saying, well, if you do this, this is what it's going to look like, and the number one team's going to get hosed.
And I think that's where a lot of us going into this season, like we heard about the playoff format and the bracket, but we didn't think about how the rankings were going to play
Clemson
into that and
upset
affect
the
it.
apple cart completely.
Yeah.
Messed it all
They
up.
tipped it all up.
Yeah, and that's funny. That's like everybody clamoring.
Everybody
like,
thinks it was intentional. They're intentionally screwing Oregon. No, the system screwed Oregon.
Yeah.
I think the committee was generally in there and they were completely oblivious. So do you want them to pay more attention in that final ranking to how it looks in the bracket?
Yes, I do.
So that's the question. But I don't think there was a conspiracy in the room to stick it to anybody. I think the format, because of the unpredictability of the conference championships, messed it up.
Yes. Yeah. I think that also it's funny that people are like, Indiana, should they have even been there? It's like, don't be mad at Indiana. Be mad at that Clemson SMU game and how that played out. Because if SMU wins that, or if, and Clemson doesn't, like Clemson's not making it in.
No.
SMU's going to make it in regardless, and they did make it in regardless. But what was that?
SMU probably gets a bye.
I mean, maybe at that point. I mean,
The conferences, this is
you're
the
giving it to them over
downfall-
Arizona State. Yeah.
This is the downfall of the super conferences because individual conference schedules are going to be so unbalanced.
Yep.
Because you play college basketball. If you have 20 teams in a conference, you can play everybody once, and
Yeah.
you know maybe a rival you play twice or whatever.
You got 18
but
teams in a football conference.
they need to all decide to play 8 or 9 conference games. Have that be the same.
You
They
can
need
go
to
through the
all
Big Ten.
decide if you're going to play group of 5 teams. You need to never play FCS teams. As much as it's nice for Portland State to get a paycheck from the Ducks.
Furman's going to get one of these SEC teams one of these years, all right?
So
you could go.
you should never play FCS teams at that level, and then
And
at the Power
definitely
4
not
level,
week
and
11.
then they need to decide if they're going to play group of 5 teams or not.
And these conferences are getting so big that in theory you could go through the Big Ten and not play Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State. You could go through the SEC, not play Texas, Bama, or Georgia. And if you're undefeated, it's like, whoa, hey, I lost in the conference championship.
That's where
to
they need to
Texas
fix
by
this.
25, but I still get a playoff spot because I got one loss.
They need to come to some sort of more uniform scheduling arrangement. Because what I would do, I would take the other, so
And
the
that's
group
what I loved
of
about
4.
the Pac-12. You played 9 conference
Well,
games.
the Power 4 conferences, I would then just say, okay, let's all play 9, and our 3 non-conference games, we'll put them in pools or something. So the top 5 teams in each conference, you'll draw somebody out of that in each of the conferences, and that's your non-conference schedule.
But I don't think they'll ever go to that.
No, they
because
won't.
Everyone's too afraid to lose that non-conference game.
Yeah, but that way, though there's more uniformity, I think it will be easier to compare strength of schedules in that room.
But then how do I just blanketly tell you that the SEC is better?
Well, you're from the SEC. Nobody outside of the SEC has
ever
telling
played college football in their life. Any natty won by a non-SEC team was fake news. Which game gets your pants tighter? Penn State, Boise State, Texas, Arizona State?
Texas, Arizona State.
Yeah, I think that because Texas, and also I wouldn't say that their resume was weaker, but also the whole who did they beat argument, that applies to Texas more than anybody.
Sure.
And like, yes, they did just beat Clemson at home, but Clemson wasn't that good this year.
No.
Outside of that, they lost to Georgia
Twice.
Yeah, they beat Texas A&M, but also how good was Texas A&M towards the end of the year?
Not very good.
That win early in the season against a ranked Michigan team in Ann Arbor.
It means squadouche.
Yeah,
now.
at the time, it was like,
It was
wow,
like, whoa, hey,
Texas
Texas
kicked
is
their
here.
ass.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
looked great. It did not matter by season.
I have more passing yards this season than Michigan does.
It was, it's one of those teams where you're like, yeah, Texas has the talent, and they have more talent than Arizona State, but there is a player factor with Arizona State. And it is one player, and it's Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah.
And if Texas is able to rein him in, and Arizona State has to lean on Sam Levitt, Westland zone, to have to win this game. Now, granted, I haven't seen.
No, is their their leading wide receiver? Is he back from his shoulder injury?
That is what I was going to ask. Is I'm blanking on his name, but Arizona State has a very good wide receiver that did not play in the Big 12 championship game. Didn't seem to matter because they just blew the brakes off of Iowa State in that one.
But can I argue that I could be having the same conversation about Ashton Genty against Penn State?
Yes.
You know, I mean, Ashton Genty, for my money, was my Heisman vote. And if, you know, I feel like nobody's given Boise State any credit in this game because Penn State's looked really good of late. This is the best Penn State team I've seen since Pa's been dead.
Well, I think the bigger thing, Jordan Tyson is his name, 1,100 receiving yards for Arizona State to lead the team by far. So if his shoulder is healthy, I don't think he needed any surgery, so they will try. But there's two things. I think Penn State, the matchup for them, and with Ashton Genty, you know what you have to do. There's not There's not as many variables with Boise State, and if Penn State can
If they shut down Genty, it's
shut
going to
him
be
down,
ugly.
what does Boise State do?
Yeah.
I think with Arizona State, especially if they get Tyson back, also the Kenny Dillingham factor where he is more liable with 3 weeks to get ready to come up with all sorts of wackiness and throw the kitchen sink at him.
I like him out coaching
and
Sark in this
Texas
game.
is more likely to make bad turnovers or do stuff in a game, take a bad penalty here or there. I think Penn State's a little bit more disciplined in that regard. And so I think there's more potential for the upset with Arizona State just to the game factors there than there is with Boise State, Penn State.
Right now it says that Tyson playing is highly unlikely, but he's doing the whole, well, maybe. You never know.
Never know.
Yeah, we'll see. You know?
I haven't heard the national narrative. Are we still doing this Manning Ewers thing again?
But they're doing it in Texas.
Oh, I mean, yes, but they're going to.
Not the same level as last week against Clemson.
But, I mean, they also.
That was nauseating.
Well,
Like, should we start Manning instead of Ewers? Like, Texas fans can do that. You can have that conversation internally. But I don't want this narrative nationally to be the same again.
But they are gonna.
Like, Ewers is the guy.
They're gonna ride with him until the wheels fall off. Like it is. They'll throw in Arch Manning to do the, plays designed for him, the quarterback runs that are designed for him on third and 1, 4th 1 goal line stuff. But they are gonna live and die with Quinn Ewers at quarterback, and then they'll insert Manning for next season. But also. Texas kind of showed their formula to win last week against Clemson. Run the damn ball. They had nearly 300 rushing yards against Clemson last week. They dominated the line of scrimmage. And that's what, again, I know the game against Michigan earlier in the season doesn't matter, but watching that game and other games that they had, when they're able to dominate the line of scrimmage, that is when Texas is at their best. And that's just what they are going to have to do against Arizona State is you may have the better all-purpose running back, but you do not have this line of scrimmage, and we're just going to chew up clock, and we're going to run the ball down your throat. Yeah, we'll have some pass plays here and there, but have fun trying to have the horses to stop us at the line of scrimmage.
Real quick, who's your picks?
I'm going to go Texas. I'm probably going to go chalk on the Texas and Penn State game. I think that just talent factor. That's why I went with Notre Dame in the previous round too. Is
just talent over Indiana.
Yes. So I'm going to go with Texas. I'm going to go with Penn State. I'm going to go with Oregon just to put out the positive energy. But dear God, I am just so nervous. And I really want to go Notre Dame. And I think that's where I'm leaning right now just because of the offense factor with Georgia. Listen, Carson Beck did not have great moments this year, but also he gives them the better chance to win, I believe. Mm-hmm. And the way that Notre Dame is playing in that defense, I think that they right now are playing like the better team. Georgia, they barely beat Texas in that SEC championship game. Notre Dame has just looked like an absolute locomotive the last few weeks. So I'll lean Notre Dame for now. And just stick with that unless anything changes over the next week. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take the Irish there with the upset. I like Penn State. I just think that's a bad matchup for Boise State with what they're trying to do. I do like the Ducks. I think I would take the points with Arizona State. Texas 13.
That's a big spread.
It's a big spread. If they dominate, Arizona State they will keep playing for all 60 minutes and backdoor cover. If Texas turns it over, whatever, then life gets real interesting there.
I'm going to take Texas. I'm going to take Oregon. Although I'm with you, Joe. I have no idea.
God, I'm so scared. We were saying in the break that I'm really trying to take that Tennessee game as it being kind of a one-off outlier.
Yeah.
Tennessee was talking mad S before that game at Ohio State. And also the embarrassment of the Michigan game. I don't think Ohio State wanted to have that happen again in their home stadium. And so they were just a little bit extra motivated for that one.
I like what you guys have to say about Notre Dame. I'm going to take Georgia in this game. I like Kirby in the big game. Notre Dame's got to prove it to me. And beating Indiana in South Bend is not enough for me right now.
I hear you.
I hear what you're saying. I do think this is the best Notre Dame team we've seen in a long time. Kind of like, I was saying this about like Penn State. Like this is the best Penn State team I've seen since Joe Pa's been there. I still need Notre Dame. I still need to see it happen before I can believe it. And for funsies, I'm going to take Boise State. Ashton Genty, Pac-12. Let's go, baby.
I hope so. Listen,
11 is a big spread too. Now I'm with you, Swag. That's the most lopsided matchup of the whole thing.
Yeah, the problem is if Boise State gets behind, they are not.
Their host.
designed
Their
to
host.
catch up.
Because their quarterback is garbage. But crazy things happen with Boise State in a Fiesta Bowl. I'm just saying.
That is true.
We've all been there.
That is true.
I'm going to go propose to my cheerleader girlfriend.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe we get a proposal after this one.
Statue of Liberty. All right, we come back. Daily Ticker is next, but first there's Swag with sports.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, there was little that was aesthetically pleasing in Chicago Thursday night. Cold, rain, no touchdowns, but the Seahawks got 2 Jason Myers field goals in the first half, and that was enough to beat Caleb Williams, whom they sacked 7 times. Reek Woolen grabbing a game-sealing interception in the final minute. 6-3, Seahawks win. They are still technically alive for an NFC West Division title. Scoot Henderson hit a turnaround 15-footer with 1/10 of a second to go at Moda Center to give the Blazers their 10th win of the season, 122-120 over the Jazz. Danny Avdija, Shaden Sharp each had 27 points. Mavericks are in town Saturday night for a 7 o'clock tip at Moda Center. They will be without Luka Doncic. He is done for at least a month, sustained a strained calf muscle in their Christmas Day loss to the Timberwolves. Bowl game action continues today on 910 ESPN. Portland will start at 3:30 with Texas Tech facing Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl. That'll be followed by USC and Texas A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl. 5 o'clock on Fox 12 Oregon. You can watch Washington State take on Syracuse in the Holiday Bowl. The Cougs will be without quarterback John Mateer, who has transferred to Oklahoma, nor head coach Jake Dickert, who took the job at Wake Forest. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand at the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player. Tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Jump back to earlier part. of Dirt and Sprague
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
on 1080 The Fan. In this wide world of sports, some stories can slip through the cracks.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules.
Pelican Brewing presents The Daily Ticker, where Dirt and Sprague hit the big stories you've heard about, and some you haven't.
How'd you do that? Actually, I'm not even mad. It's amazing.
The Daily Ticker with Dirt and Sprague is poured by Pelican Brewing, your local coastal brewery. Independently brewing since 1996. Pelican Brewing, born at the beach.
All right, it's Daily Ticker time. The Daily Ticker is brought to you by Pelican Brewing, now offering their signature Pelican West Coast IPA on a shelf near you. Raise your glass and drink on. Pelican Brewing, born at the beach. Picked up a 6-pack of Bad Santa the other day. I love that beer. It's the time of year. Cascadian Dark Ale, known as Black IPA, for those of you.
What is it? I made my second ever Pelican Brewing stop earlier this football season before the Ohio State game.
Yeah. Pelican was a great friend to the Old Beers on Us podcast with me and Giancarlo Lynch.
Oh, yeah, he did a show out there,
Did
right?
a couple of them out there, yeah.
I've yet to go to the Siletz Bay location.
I have not been there either. The Cannon Beach one is really sexy.
That's the one I went to earlier this year.
Can't mess with the OG and PC, but
and boy, that place was popping
I'm
at
sure.
Cannon Beach.
I'm sure it was. All right, the Daily Ticker is going to take us to something that's near and dear to my heart. That is the Holiday Bowl, the DirecTV Holiday Bowl this evening on Fox, 5 p.m. The number 21 Syracuse Orangemen coming in hot at the end of the season against my Washington State Cougs.
Hell yeah.
And let me tell you something, guys.
Let's go.
If you told me at the beginning of the year we were going to the Holiday Bowl, hell yeah. Sign me up. If you tell me we're going to the Holiday Bowl after week 7 of this season, I am mad. This team looks so cool. And I am even more mad now because this game, the spread is 18. Hammer it. Absolutely hammer it. Hammer it, dude. Wazoo is missing their head coach, their OC, their DC, their running back coach, their starting quarterback.
the big wood.
Without a doubt, lay the big wood.
Come on.
And 20 guys are in the portal. This is going to be a bloodbath. It is going to be so brutal tonight that I am tempted to not wear my hat while at work tonight, but I am afraid that people will think I'm chickening out.
Patrick, come on. Where's your positivity?
There is no positivity, dude. Wazoo is Oregon State last year. I thought the Reaper was going to come next year. The Reapers come early.
Do you think
This program is now DED dead.
Well, Washington State, they what was it? They were 7-1.
Yeah, we lost to Boise State, and it was 14-10 at halftime. I mean, Genty had 284 tuds in the second half, but that's what he does to people.
Well, I'm trying to remember the transgression of this year. So yeah, you guys were sitting after that big Utah State win. You're sitting at 8-1.
Yeah, dude, we're
feeling
sitting
real
at 8-1,
good.
going. We're rooting for someone to beat Boise State because then we're in the playoff. That's what we're thinking. We beat the Huskies. We're on cloud 9.
So you then lose to New Mexico in that devastating loss. You then lose to Oregon State, and then you lose to Wyoming to finish out.
Dude.
At what point did this team have a feeling that Dickert was leaving?
Halfway through Oregon State, I was like, oh my God, it's over. It's done. Because we had no business losing to Oregon State. No business. No offense. I love Beaver Nation. I'm with you. I'm not part of this. Wazoo or Oregon State isn't our friends. We don't know them anything. I get that. That's the reality. But Oregon State fans, I'm with you out of like empathy and sympathy. We're there together. But halfway through the Oregon State game, I was like, oh my God, we're going to lose this game.
You know what's
This
fun-
is over. Dickert's gone. Mateer's gone. Like, it's over. It's over.
I just remember
And Wyoming is absolute garbage.
Hey,
We
they
lost
played
at home.
and they lost to Idaho.
Senior
it was
night.
a tough Idaho's a tough team.
Idaho
okay?
is FCS, bro.
Hey, they're a tough
They
team.
They did go to the playoff.
You saw what they did against Oregon, all right?
They did go to the playoff.
I remember that Oregon State game. I did not watch all of it. I think I turned it on.
I almost went. Thank God I didn't go.
I turned it on right before the fourth quarter, but I was like, as I'm getting it up on my phone, I just remember I'm like, you know what? I would not be surprised if this game was much closer than it should be. And sure enough, I think at that point, Oregon State was ahead in that one when I turned it on. But this is one of those bowl game, what is it? tragedy, one of the sacrifices of bowl season, where it's like cool little matchup on paper, but when you have half the team that is left, the coach is already gone.
There's no staff.
The best player on your offense is gone. Like they gave me a call. They're like, "Hey, do you want to come up and play in the Holiday Bowl?" And I said, "I can't make it, but thanks for the offer."
I heard a BetQL commercial the other day on this station that said, "You looking for a good bet on bowl season? Washington State currently catching -16. We pick Washington State to upset Syracuse." And it was like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's honestly that is a BetQL bet for sure. I mean, I don't know if you've tracked those things, but those commercials don't usually work out well.
Congratulations to Mateer and your future career at Oklahoma. I hope that goes well for you. But yeah, Wazoo football is dead. I'm ready to be a basketball conference.
So you're going to be more locked in that on that AutoZone Liberty Bowl then, huh?
The over-under in this game is 59.5. There's a chance that Syracuse passes that themselves. Hammer it. Hammer it. Hammer it.
Well, is Kyle McCord playing in that? Because if that's the case, then
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. There's no reason not to for him.
Yeah.
We have nobody on defense to tackle you. You're not getting hurt.
Yeah, listen, I want you to be wrong because I want a good bowl game. I want Wazoo to fight their little tails off.
Oh, we're going to fight. We're just going to lose by 30.
Come on, Patrick.
Daily Taker brought to you by Pelican Brewing, now offering their signature Pelican West Coast IPA on a shelf near you. Raise your glass and drink on. Pelican Brewing, born at the beach. When we come back, let's stick with some bowls. Let's have some fun with bowls. 10A the Fan.
Who's stinking it up?
Do not go in there.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up, a sports lowlight that's ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomservices.com.
Williams, shotgun snap, blitz is coming. Williams throws the ball up for grabs. The ball is intercepted. It's Woolen comes near side, knocked out of bounds. The first takeaway of the game by the Seahawks.
That is Steve Vrabel. You heard it right here on 1080 The Fan, home of the Seahawks. Who's stinking it up more, the Bears or just Thursday Night Football in general?
Yeah, the entire football community after that one. God, the Bears are definitely stinking up because it doesn't matter if it's Matt Eberflus or whoever the hell their interim coach is because they still can't handle the end-of-the-game clock management. So I'll lean the Bears, but my God, nobody was a winner last night.
Who's Stinking It Up report brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Make your home services delightful. Let the pros tackle whatever projects you need completed. Schedule an appointment online. Three Mountains Home Services. That's threemountainshomservices.com.
Father of mine, tell me where have you been? You know I just closed my eyes.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
On 1080 The Fan.
Yeah, when I was still young.
Why? Someone tell me why, damn it!
That is the real question. Why do we do this, Joe? Why do we do the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl?
Tradition.
The Birmingham Bowl.
The unsullied Birmingham Bowl. No sponsor on the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Noted Red Sox fan Cooley would not be happy if you didn't sell the Birmingham Bowl, Joe.
Yeah, someone's getting fired for
Someone's
that one.
getting fired for that.
Yeah. I mean, now, does ESPN just basically, like, own all of these bowl games now where it's on them? Or is
They
there
own most of the rights, yeah.
Is there, like, a Birmingham Bowl sales team?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like golf tournaments. Each individual bowl is
So who's on the Birmingham Bowl account? All right.
They're not on the account anymore.
They got S-Can because of that.
I think we always laugh about these, but I feel like we are now at a point where there are more sponsors of bowls that I don't know what they are.
Oh, it's
than
great.
Actually. Like,
that is one of my
like we got
favorite
the-
parts about bowl season is the ridiculous sponsors. Like, what was
IS4S salute to veterans. The IS4S. What the hell is that? Scooter's Coffee. I've never heard of Scooter's Coffee.
Oh, it's great. Just great beans.
Dude, nobody sold the Boca Raton Bowl either.
That is unacceptable. I also like the Rate Bowl.
What is Rate?
Now, sometimes like the Boca Raton Bowl. Now, the sponsor might be like the
Sandals.
No, like
the city,
the Boca
tourism
Raton
department?
Tourism Commission or whatever to try and get people to come visit there.
So it might be the
Art of Sport LA Bowl.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing the LA Bowl. That one was sponsored by Gronk last year.
Well, it was Jimmy Kimmel before that.
Yeah, it was
when
Jimmy
Oregon
Kimmel
State
Bowl for a
won.
while.
So no celebrity wanted to put their name on it this year.
Snoop chose the Colorado State game.
Yeah, that whole that entire makeup of that one cracks me up because it's Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Like, I don't know what Snoop Dogg and Arizona, what connection they have, but also it's between Miami of Ohio and Colorado State.
You think he thought it was the U and was like, let's do it?
It's in Tucson. It's not even in
Tempe.
Yeah, like it's on the CW. Like all those things, none of that makes sense.
No,
at all.
R&L Carriers, no idea.
R&L Carriers Bowl, that is actually one of my favorite bowl games. That's the one played in New Orleans every year.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some great matchups between the Louisiana schools in there.
Georgia Southern beat Sam Houston 31-26. That's a hell of a game.
Yeah, the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, that one has actually had like the same sponsor and same bowl name for like over a decade now.
The Staff DNA Cheer Bowl?
Why not? I do like yesterday's bowl game between Pitt and Toledo. The game above, Sports Bowl.
Game above. What is game above? Sports ball.
Sports ball. I looked it up. Game above is just basically a like entertainment company. I went to their website and they have their hands in different sports and entertainment media. So Game Above Sports is their investment company into different sports. They have a meaningful stake in the Brisbane Bulls.
Okay.
Over in Australia. They're also invested in the Big Three basketball league in Detroit. Trying to get a Big Three team in Detroit.
Do we still have the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl?
I don't believe so.
Oh,
yeah.
That's too bad. I think the guy of Gallery Furniture, I think he's doing it again this year. If Texas wins the Natty, you get your couch for free.
Is that Mattress Mac?
Or is that mattress? It's a mattress.
Yeah, Mattress Mac, I think is his name, because he's a big Astros fan. Because he always made
the dude that's placing the millions of dollars bets every year.
Bets when the Astros were cheating their way to World
What,
Series.
What cracks me up, and I read this a few weeks ago, and it's tomorrow, UConn versus North Carolina, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. When I first read that, like a week or so ago, I was like, wait, so like just wasabi.
The plant.
Like
Mr.
just,
Wasabi.
Yeah. I was like wasabi nuts? Like wasabi paste that you have on sushi? Like what? Like this game is really sponsored by just wasabi.
Just wasabi. We're just spreading the good word that wasabi's awesome.
I mean, we have the Duke's Mayo Bowl, so
That's
I mean,
clearly mayo.
What's to say we can't have wasabi?
Duke's is the brand of mayo?
Yes.
I've never heard of that other than the bowl game.
I'm a Hellman's guy myself, you know.
I think
I
Duke's
also
is
don't
down
eat-
south.
Oh, okay.
Carolina's Atlantic Coast.
I also
that
don't
area.
eat mayonnaise. I think mayonnaise is
It's
disgusting.
the most vile man-made substance of all time.
I'm with you, Swag.
It has its purpose.
I think
you know?
mayonnaise is absolutely disgusting.
It has its purpose. What are you guys, Miracle Whip fans instead?
No, that's worse.
That's worse.
It is worse. It
No,
is
get it out
substantially
of there.
worse.
Fake something
It
of
doesn't come into my kitchen
if you
at all,
if you
ever,
create
under any circumstance.
a fake substitute of something that's already disgusting, I'm out.
So wait,
I'm so out.
neither of you guys use mayonnaise for anything
God,
ever?
no.
Ever.
No,
Like a
No.
slaw
no,
No.
or
Vinegar.
what is it? Like a mac salad?
Oh, I don't eat
I
mac
don't eat
salad. That's
macaroni salad.
disgusting.
Mac salad is fantastic.
Macaroni
How dare
salad,
you.
potato salad, that's all gross.
Especially Hawaiian mac salad.
Oh,
What?
dude, no.
You don't like mac salad either?
Absolutely not.
Oh my god.
Dude,
what
there's
is wrong
so
with
much
you guys?
mayonnaise in that.
I know.
It's disgusting.
There's also other good things in it. Hawaiian mac salad
I'm-
is a godsend.
I'm just gonna eat macaroni instead of Max. Oh God. Let me ask you guys.
Listen,
this.
at 7:53, mac salad does not sound great. I'm with you there, but Hawaiian mac salad is fantastic. Shame on you both.
I know we're all laughing and having a good time of Pitt Toledo in 6 overtime and South Florida and San Jose State
No.
in 5 overtimes.
no overtimes in bowl games.
Let
if
me
it's
ask-
a tie, it's a tie. Just who cares? Go. Who cares?
Who cares? Vegas cares, Swag. That's who cares. Vegas
6
cares.
overtimes. Listen, I was watching a little bit of that, and then I checked out because I was like, sorry, don't really care about the tradition of the sports bowl too much.
But I want to ask you guys a question.
Pitt
though.
made a comeback, though.
Yeah, it's like fun and
They
laughing.
need overtime for that one.
And everybody laughs and says, the 2-point conversions, that's so funny. Let's speed it up and just go to 2-point conversions. Okay, Ohio State and Oregon are in 4th overtime, and you're going for 2-point conversions. You think people are laughing now? I don't think so. This room
No,
got
for
real
the
quiet.
playoff, obviously, and I think you should do it the way that hockey does it. During the regular season, you have a truncated overtime period. You go to a shootout because you don't want game. I mean, they got to get on the road, the traveling team. You can't have it going on all night. In the playoffs, you play till somebody scores.
Yeah.
I like how Swag is just cut the trophy down the middle.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Partial mayo on one coach, partial mayo on another. By the way, if you dumped mayonnaise on me, I would vomit. I would absolutely
I
vomit.
kind of want to see it. We need to make some sort of hot corner radio bit.
I'm sending
some
my
sort
OC
of,
in there for
some
that.
sort of bet.
Yeah.
We need to make some sort of bet before the MLB season that you just, if you lose, you have to eat a spoonful of mayo. Just
Oh, my
whoop.
God.
Listen, I would even barf from that.
I'm not taking the bet.
I'm with Swag. I'm not taking the bet.
What about just a mayo-based dish? Like
No.
you have to eat a bowl of mac salad.
Oh
No.
God, no.
Not taking the. I am not
God.
taking the bet.
You guys are children.
No, we're not.
No.
Mayonnaise is disgusting, Joe.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm just wolfing down
Mayonnaise
some
is
mayo
for children.
as a
It is
side-
not for adults.
mayo on a sandwich.
No,
No, mustard, horseradish. Come on.
Horseradish is not good.
I put cream cheese on it.
Oh, I like cream cheese.
Yeah, I've heard of the cream cheese like hot dog.
Oh yeah,
How
cream
some people
cheese,
do
grilled
that.
onions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that at Wazoo. The Coug Dog.
You can mix. The great thing is you can do. You can mix like pesto with cream cheese. It's absolutely
That sounds pretty
fantastic.
good.
Italian dressing,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, come on, Joe.
Well, now I need a
Grow
list
up.
of best mayo-based dish.
Not gonna happen.
It doesn't exist.
We got a loaded third hour for you. We'll get into a little bit of baseball, for it is
sorry.
me and Joe, and I'd like to do that. Plus, we have Sprague in the line at 8:30. So please, for the love of all that is good, get your fake sponsors in the Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. What?
I Google best mayo-based dish, and the
And
first
your
thing
computer just burst into flames.
the first thing that pops up is someone on Reddit just going suddenly obsessed with mayonnaise.
Oh God!
What are some of the best mayo-based dishes? You guys don't like even just like a tuna sandwich?
No, I use mustard and horseradish.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's bomb.
That's too much. That's too much spice
That's
in a
bomb.
tuna sandwich.
Nah, dude, it's so great.
I'm down
Little
with mustard
pepper,
on a tuna
little
sandwich.
pepper, some garlic powder. Yeah,
Oh, dude,
baby.
listen, I get down when it comes to making a tuna sandwich, but you
love
gotta
to.
have the mayo in there.
I haven't had a mayonnaise tuna salad in 30 years.
What about that really like fancy Asian mayonnaise, the QP or
No,
whatever?
I'm not touching that either.
No thanks.
Come on, you guys.
No,
Yeah, I'm just out.
just give me
Reminds
some
me
soy
of-
sauce and wasabi, and I'll
Yeah, dude.
put that on anything.
Yeah.
Come on.
Joe, you're a child.
No, I'm not. I'm not a child because I like mayo.
All right, loaded third hour. Don't go anywhere. Hot corner version of Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
HD2 Portland, an Odyssey sports station. Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the Seahawks playoff hopes still alive. They didn't score a touchdown in Chicago Thursday night, but they sacked Caleb Williams 7 times and picked him off in the final minute to make Jason Myers 2 field goals stand up in a 6-3 victory. Now they're hoping for some help from the Cardinals if they can beat the Rams this Sunday. Scoot Henderson hit a turnaround jumper with a tenth of a second left at Moda Center, giving the Blazers their 10th win of the season, 122-120 over the Jazz. Shaden Sharp, Denny Avdia, each with 27 points to lead the way. They'll host the Mavericks Saturday night, 7 o'clock tip in Moda Center. Dallas will be without Luka Doncic for the next month. He sustained a strained calf muscle in their Christmas Day loss to the Timberwolves. Bowl game action gets going today on 910 ESPN Portland. First up this afternoon, 3:30. Texas Tech takes on Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl. That'll be followed by USC and Texas A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl. You can watch what's left of Washington State take on Syracuse at 5 on Fox 12 Oregon in the Holiday Bowl, as John Mateer won't be at quarterback, having transferred to Oklahoma, and Jake Dickert will not be head coaching the team. He took the Wake Forest job. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand at the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Tired of getting dinged by subscriptions? We won't send you a bill. Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan. This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
There's glory in the legends of this hard muscle life, and there's poetry in each season made of sweat and strife.
Dirt and Sprague on Football Friday.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app. Download the Odyssey app, follow 1080 The Fan, and enable push notifications to get the latest on the Ducks, Beavers, Blazers, and more.
All I know is, you mess with me, you got problems.
Dirt and Sprague on 1080 The Fan.
All right, final hour of this hot corner edition of Dirt and Sprague. Patrick Harris with you, Joe Fisher to my left, Swag on the ones and twos. Boys are back on Monday. So we'll get you back to your regularly scheduled program. But it's Joe and I for the next hour. We've got Sprague in the line at the bottom of this hour, so please
got
get
all the
your
picks
sponsors in. Got all picks in.
Heard from the boys.
The boys sent their picks in, and Joe and I will make some fun as well. The Vancouver Ford text line, 503-864-6326, is having fun. Mustard on tuna. What the hell? It's awesome.
Again,
it's awesome.
As long as the tuna is mixed with mayo and you make the correct tuna base, then yeah, put some mustard on there, spicy brown.
Nah.
You know, I have a list of the most hated polarizing foods.
Yeah.
In America, according to a Harris poll, August 2023.
And I feel, and you shared some of these with me in the break, so I'll let you share them. But I feel like a lot of these are foods that people despise but have never actually eaten.
Yeah, some of these
it's like stereotype.
Yeah, like anchovies is number one on this list. I've never just wolfed down a can of anchovies.
No,
before.
but everyone on this planet has eaten a Caesar salad and loves it.
Yes. What's the other canned fish? Is it kippers?
Sardines?
No, it's is it kippers? Right?
Capers?
No,
not capers.
Yeah,
it's
kipper.
Kippers.
It's a herring.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sardines are the other one that are packed in little tins in oil and stuff.
And this shouldn't surprise you, but my dad back in the day, he would just take some kippers, and put it on a cracker or something like that. And I'm like, you are a foul SOB.
Foul human being.
Black licorice is on here. Oysters. I love oysters. I can get why people don't.
We
like
also live
it.
in the Northwest. If you lived in Kansas your entire life, you probably think an oyster is disgusting.
Yeah. Beets are on here.
I don't like beets.
Blue cheese.
Love blue cheese.
Dude. A
Blue
blue
cheese
cheeseburger.
is just that's a matter of taste. Palate doesn't work with my palate. I'm not.
Oh,
okra.
Fried okra is so bomb.
My girlfriend has a great palate. She is a foodie. She has great taste. She can knock it down with okra though. She is not a okra fan. Capers is on here. Brussels sprouts.
Absolutely
Dude,
love Brussels sprouts.
I will get down on some Brussies for sure.
They got to be prepared correctly, though.
Yeah.
That's the trick. You got to have somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yes, they can be. If you don't cook them long enough, then they're just crunchy as all hell. And
the problem most places when you get capers with something, most often it's with salmon, fish, bagels and lox is they go overboard on them.
Yeah. You don't want too much.
No, they are salty and briny. But
it's kind of like Kalamata olives. I feel are the same way. If you go
olives are on here.
If you go overboard on Kalamata olives, everything just tastes like Kalamata olives.
Yeah,
olives that are on here. This is a weird one. Fennel.
Well, see, I think that's people that just don't want to try fennel.
I love the smell of fennel. I've like on
fennel seeds. You have
in a sausage or like a fennel sausage pizza or something like that. Oh, smells delightful. I love just grinding in the mortar and pestle some fennel. Just the smell. Oh gosh. And this is a food that I do hate. That is on this list that I do not get down with. Mushrooms.
Oh, time and place.
Yeah, not for me. The time and place is in hell.
Dude, a dead show. Amazing.
Okay, well, that's different kind of mushroom there, but yeah.
No, I
absolutely not.
My wife is with you. She is anti the mushrooms. I don't personally choose. I don't buy them from the store. I don't really cook with them a whole lot, but I have no problem ordering them out. Like if I'm out, if I get a steak and they got some mushroom thing on top of it, I'm cool with that.
Well, I'll do mushrooms.
Mushrooms
acquired that taste as I got older.
Mushroom on pizza is great.
Because I'll do that. I'll do them. Actually, if I do big hamburgers, I'll do if you
mushroom Swiss.
It's a great way to just ruin anything.
No, little white wine, little butter, little garlic.
Ooh, baby.
My buddies and I will send food pictures to each other, and we got on a subject one time with steaks because I had a nice little steak, and they're like, "Oh, it looks good. Yeah, throw some mushrooms on there, some onion." I'm like, or just don't and have a quality steak without ruining it.
It depends on the cut of steak. Some steaks need a little bit more things to enhance it. Others just stand by yourself. Sometimes a compound butter is what you need.
Ooh, I made a compound butter this last on Christmas Eve for my roasted chicken.
Sometimes you need a wine sauce. Sometimes you need a chimichurri.
You guys will feel vindicated that mayonnaise did make this list.
People love mayonnaise.
Cilantro's
People
on
also
here.
love ranch. You can't have ranch without mayonnaise.
No,
Pickles. And also
I'm not a pickle fan.
I love pickles. Some bread and butter, some B&Bs.
I like other veggies pickled. I don't like cucumbers pickled.
And then the last one on this list, it's not last, but it's on this one that I absolutely cannot stand, coconut. Just right out.
Well, I think coconut is one of those things Swag was talking about earlier. You go overboard on coconut and you're in suntan lotion territory. But coconut's got a time and place. I love an almond joy.
Absolutely not. Just throw it in the trash.
Not even Mounds?
No. Coconut.
I get a good coconut crusted mahi-mahi. But
Coconut
that would
shrimp?
be unsweetened coconut.
You might get away with that because of it being fried. That's, what doesn't taste bad?
What doesn't taste amazing fried?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it wouldn't be us if we didn't talk a little bit baseball.
I was waiting for it.
Why not? Yeah, we should have a little bit of baseball on this show. And
so I got to the last hour, and he's like, "Oh my God, we might not do baseball."
I've been keeping it running because Joe and I are off this week. We're off next week too. So I've got I've been having a long running list of things to talk about in the off season and as we gear up towards spring training, which is in a month and a half.
Yep.
Just an FYI.
It's usually Valentine's weekend when everybody shows up.
You get pitchers and catchers reporting.
Well, who are the Dodgers and Cubs will be in early because they're playing
they're
somewhere
in
overseas to start the season.
Or Korea, I think. I think they're in Korea this year.
They're in Japan this year. They were in Korea last year because the Shohei thing was.
The Shohei's Japanese. I thought they were in Japan.
But I thought they went to Korea.
I don't remember.
I'll find out.
Anyway, so I've got a long plethora of things that I was thinking about, and I heard someone talking about this the other day, and I actually wanted to bring it up for a larger discussion.
It's Japan.
This year?
Yes.
Yeah, they were in Korea last year.
Okay, all right.
Tokyo series.
Are the New York Yankees, who missed out on Juan Soto, are they a better team right now than they were last year?
Annoyingly, yes, and they made the World Series.
I heard somebody say that this is the best job Brian Cashman's done in 2 decades.
Well, I don't have his track record of every.
I have his
offseason
track
in front
record of
me.
not going to the World Series for the last 20 years.
I would say that it is just because, I mean, we've talked about it on our show Tuesday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Always 7 to 9 p.m.
Always 7 to 9 on Tuesdays.
Thank you, Dana Altman. That them not getting Soto was not the end of the world because, look at that. You would have $60 million every year to spend somewhere else.
Yeah. You're moving Jazz Chisholm over to second. Better position for him. You saw the disaster that was at third base.
Bellinger is a quality outfielder.
So you move Judge to right, where he's a better right fielder than he is a center
hope
fielder.
Bellinger's bat is consistent.
Well, I mean, someone put up a good compilation of almost home runs Cody Bellinger had this year. And it was like, all of these would be home runs at Yankee Stadium. So you get that short porch in right field.
I love the Goldschmidt acquisition, but I also kind of liked the Rizzo acquisition. I hope this is not that. Like when the Yankees signed Rizzo, I was
Goldschmidt going to DH, or is he actually going to play?
He's going to play first because Giancarlo can't run.
Oh, that's true. Giancarlo DH.
So
I just had the image of Giancarlo rounding third base. And what was that?
Dude, run, hustle, bro, hustle.
I'm like, oh my God, he's really trying hard.
Why are they sending him? Like, hold up. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Oh, my God. That was one of the funniest things of the season.
What I was going to say is I loved when they signed Rizzo because I thought veteran, defense at first base, this is a great move, and Rizzo was a pretty big disaster for the Yankees. I hope Goldschmidt is not that route because I love him as a player, but like you said, annoyingly so, I don't want the Yanks to necessarily be good. And then the big one for me is Max Fried. And, there's some little trades here and there. There's Devin Williams in the bullpen. Like, instead of signing Juan Soto, you got Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, Max Fried, and Devin Williams. Yeah. I think you're doing okay.
That sucks, man.
For your Orioles.
Yes. Especially when you get the report today, or maybe last night, that Corbin Burns is looking for $245 million.
You're like, that ain't my team.
See ya. Yeah. It's nice knowing you. Great season this year in Baltimore. Have fun wherever you go and do that.
Dude, just have a, $65 million payroll and win the division like my team does.
In due time. Again, the Yankees, you literally signed 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if the Goldschmidt, that was a signing or a trading.
It's a signing. He was a free agent.
So the Bellinger, that was a trade. And so you got 2 MVPs. You got the second best closer in baseball, arguably. Maybe third best once Felix comes back. But then you got a bona fide number 2 starter in Max Fried. Would be a 1 on a lot of teams.
On most teams, yeah.
I'm pissed. And it was funny because a few weeks ago when Soto went to the Mets, it was like, man, are the Yankees, are they just not the Yankees of old where they can't just build these super teams and just can't get whoever they want? Seemingly they can. It's just when you have to pay Soto $700 billion over the next 15 years, I guess you can forgive him on that one because that's an outlier.
And I've said this on our show. I think there's a big outlier too there is a type of player that the Yankees want, and it's different than what it used to be. But I was thinking about this. We were talking about starting pitchers and like who the Yankees could get. There's no alpha walking through that door to pitch for the New York Yankees. You already have Garrett Cole. You need somebody that's going to be in there and be okay with being the number 2 and being the quiet guy and letting Garrett Cole throw his temper tantrums, because like a Max Scherzer and a Garrett Cole don't work on the same team. I don't think so in this day and age.
Yeah.
That Max is like the perfect complementary to Garrett Cole. Kind of a quiet guy, different style.
Chill.
Yeah, that works. You can't, like, this Andy Pettitte, Roger Clemens, David Cohn days don't exist in baseball.
Yeah, you've been saying this for a few weeks now, and I get what you're saying. Are we getting to a point,
Garrett
though?
Cole's a crybaby and a whiner, and I'm sick of him.
Well, maybe we start to get a new Garrett Cole in the back half of his career that is a little bit more forgiving and not a red ass. But
no, he's going to become more of a red ass when his arm starts falling off more and he starts giving up more dongs.
One can only hope.
One can only hope.
But yes, I mean the
more
Yankees
dongs for everyone.
Unfortunately, are just fine, and they are probably better than they were last year, and they made the World Series. It's just a matter of, are you going to be able to replicate the offensive production that you got from Juan Soto somehow? But if you could spread that out 1 through 9
Yeah.
versus just
Judge and Stanton
2
stay
and
healthy,
3.
and Austin Wells takes a jump, and maybe the kid Dominguez is worth it. Right?
Well, and if you get
Dominguez? Is that his name?
not even a 162, if you get a 120, 30 game set out of Giancarlo Stanton and he was playing at least somewhat close to what you got in the playoffs, I mean, God.
All right, Open Seggy coming up next. Hot Corner.
It's time for a sports injury report. The injuries and rehab that impact the success of sports teams. Brought to you by Rock Orthopedic.
There's no sign yet that the Eagles will have Jalen Hurts, who remains in concussion protocol today after suffering that big hit against the Commanders on Sunday. Didn't practice again on Thursday.
That is Adam Schefter talking about Jalen Hurts. And boy, Eagles don't go very far if Hurts ain't playing.
Well, as long as they got 26 in the backfield, I think they'll be just fine. And again, here we go. Cowboys are going to win a meaningless game when they are out of contention and lose draft positioning. Way to go, Cowboys.
The Sports Injury Report is presented by ROC Orthopedic, board-certified specialists who diagnose and treat the widest range of orthopedic cases with care and expertise. To schedule an appointment with Dr. Wagner, visit rocpdx.com.
It's another sunrise.
Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
on 1080 The Fan.
He was just a hired man working on the band to try.
Last call for your fake sponsors to Sprague in the line, which we'll do in about 15 minutes. Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326 or the YouTube or the YouTube feed. You can hit your fake sponsors there. We'll do that next. Picks are in from the boys. But let's wrap up a little NFL conversation. Joe, you believe there's only 4 teams that can win a Super Bowl?
Yes. Like
I was surprised you didn't have the 5th in there being the Eagles if a healthy Jalen Hurts.
There is part of me that does not believe in that team because they don't believe in themselves, it seems like, throughout the majority of the season.
They're kind of,
and also, do you really trust, like, I know they went to the Super Bowl with him already and Nick Sirianni, but do you really trust that team?
Absolutely not.
Beyond Saquon Barkley and what he can do?
Absolutely not. I do think it's interesting. You remember like the 04 Red Sox, the lovable idiots, or whatever they call them? They're like the idiots.
I don't
remember.
Like
Kevin Millar.
Is this what they call their fans?
No, that's what we call their fans. Sorry, Cooley. No offense to you. That'll never get old. But it's kind of like that. But then it turned into the chicken and beer. And everything fell apart in Boston, and they had to trade away all their good players.
Hey, great Ludacris album.
They weren't good for another 5 years before they came back. That's what this Eagles team feels like, but they keep winning.
Yeah, but they also did that last year. They just kept winning. They were like 10-1, and then they fell apart.
And they got
they got boat raced by the Bucs in the playoffs. Now again, the biggest difference for this team is that they have Saquon Barkley, who's having an unreal season.
True.
So I will give them that, but also I think that this team wins in spite of Jalen Hurts. Now, granted, is he better than Kenny Pickett? Yes. There's a lot of guys that's a better situation than Kenny Pickett.
And Jalen Hurts is better than I would say half the league.
Yeah, but I just think that when you look at the 14 playoff teams that are going to be in there, I really chalk this up to the cream of the crop of the AFC, which is the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. And then in the NFC, the only team that gives me faith that they can make a run the entire way is the Lions.
Even with their attrition issues.
Yes. Because I think they went and showed last week against, now granted it was the Bears, but they blew the brakes off them too.
That's true. The offense looked really good. You don't love Minnesota.
I think Minnesota's been a fun story. They got a great defense. Sam Darnold has played much better than expected, but I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl.
You think it'll come down to Sam Darnold makes a mistake and they're out?
Yes, and I just don't think that this team, like, do you really see them winning the Super Bowl this year? Like,
no, but
have the picture in your mind. Like, what teams, what quarterbacks, what players, coaches?
But I also feel
see.
But I also
winning the Super Bowl this year realistically.
I think part of that though is because you're just not used to seeing the Vikings be good. Okay,
and they have never won a Super Bowl.
Before Mahomes showed up to the Chiefs, I'd be like, the Chiefs, that franchise is never winning a Super Bowl again.
And I get you
because you're used to the logo. It's like the Cowboys now. You're like, you're not going to win a Super Bowl.
Whoa. All right.
So I'm not taking shots at you.
Don't have
I'm
to
just
bring
saying,
us into it.
like brand loyalty. That's stuff
I get
think
you
gotta
past
get rid of
seasons,
in the NFL.
and that is
because
one.
The Lions are on your list.
But also that is one thing that I try to champion against is I don't care what this team's history is, what their tradition is, like,
right?
Because I remember that was the thing with the Chiefs for a while. I was like, oh god, they have sucked in playoff games. They've won the division this many times, and then they got Patrick Mahomes, and that all changed.
And none of those guys on that team were around in the 70s. The last time Minnesota played Detroit in an NFC championship, they lost by 40.
I get
that means they're going to lose this time.
And if there is one team outside of the four that I think could make some sort of magical postseason run, the Vikings are probably up there because you don't win 13 games in a season out of luck, right?
No, you don't.
And
no, they're good.
You could say the same for the Eagles, right? You don't win 12 games out of the season because of luck. Now, granted,
Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the NFL because of the Joe Burrow rule that we forget that Jamar Chase is on a crappy team.
Now, granted, I could say that the Eagles, as far as some of the teams that they played this year, I mean, they played the Jags. They got to play the Giants twice. They played the Browns. They played the Saints. They played the Panthers. Like, they have played some teams that have gotten them wins because the other team is in a hot mess.
Yeah.
But as far as looking at all of the teams in the playoff race, I mean, Falcons ain't going to win anything. The Rams, maybe their offense starts clicking and they're starting to pull off, wins. They beat the Bills earlier this season, right? They put up 44 points in that game or whatever it was. But realistically, when I try to picture the Super Bowl winner in 2 months or whatever, a month and a half, and I have that vision in my head of what team is going to be doing that, It's the Chiefs, obviously. I can see the Bills doing it. I can see the Ravens doing it. And I could see the Lions, and those are the only four teams that I see in my head where I'm like, yeah, that's believable.
That's funny.
Don't have that with any other team.
I would add Minnesota to that list. And honestly, I would add Green Bay to that list.
I just think that
I don't think Green Bay is quite there yet, but that team is good. And that team is going to be a real tough out in the playoffs this year. They were last year too.
Yeah, I mean they had San Francisco on the brink, and then they just fell apart late. Again, I am just putting so much faith in the Lions, in that team, in that locker room, that coach. As long as they have Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams. Sure. I mean, yes, they do have that attrition factor, but they don't really seem to be showing it too much.
All right, well then let's hang with this a minute. Then of the teams that aren't on your list, who are you the most scared of?
I think that the Packers, as you mentioned, that's a good one. They've been playing great.
I think they're really good, and I don't think it matters if they're indoor or outdoor.
I think they have a Lambeau factor.
Well, of course they have a Lambeau factor, but I don't think their talent. I don't think they play worse because they're indoors and not outdoors.
No, and granted, like they just went to Seattle a couple weeks ago and
housed them.
But also the Seahawks have been terrible at home this year, which is bizarre.
And the Seahawks are that middle ground team of are they good? No. Are they bad? No.
No, but I think that Green Bay versus Green Bay at another location, that's two different teams.
Agreed. The Commanders don't do anything for you? Just like sneaky, scary, like, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Buffalo can't go to the Super Bowl. And unless Kansas City runs through all of them or one of them runs through all of them, one of those teams is going to lose. Two of those teams are going to lose. That's my question is where do those teams live?
Well,
are the Commanders one of those teams? Are the Chargers one of those teams? Is Denver one of those teams?
No, Denver.
Are the Bucks one of those teams in the NFC?
Again, I just try and envision any of those teams winning a Super Bowl, and it's just I can't get there.
Can you imagine Baker lifting the Lombardi?
That would be awesome. I would absolutely love that. That is one thing I can get behind, seeing the Bucks win another Super Bowl, but this time with Baker.
I can't believe we're all pro Baker Mayfield now.
Yes,
because
he got screwed out of Cleveland and then had to climb his way back into a starting role. He had to go to Carolina. And then
he was the third string behind Stetson Bennett in L.A.
Yeah, he had to go to L.A. and actually had a pretty good run there with McVay and the Rams for a little bit. But I would love to see.
I just can't believe the dude at Cheesecake Factory asking the chick, "We doing this?" is now everybody's favorite.
Yes, absolutely he is. The guy who ran away from the police and got tackled promptly.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
This guy who planted the flag at Ohio State, annoying at Oklahoma. We all love him now.
Well, and if we want to go through like a list of Super Bowl winners over the last 15 years, like the only team that I can remember outside of those Giants teams that within the last 10 to 15 years that made a run to the Super Bowl that I was like, I didn't see this coming, was probably that Aaron Rodgers Packers team. Like I remember
they beat Roethlisberger.
They blew out the Falcons in Atlanta. It was just like, whoa. Like someone is going to have to do that too. Like win a road game as a wild card team or something.
But but you're also talking about one of the most athletic quarterbacks, gifted quarterbacks we had ever seen.
Right.
All those gifted quarterbacks, I don't think there's one hiding on a team that we're not expecting.
Again,
unless Cincinnati gets in and somehow that defense kind of doesn't absolutely blow and Joe Burrow does Joe Burrow things. That can happen.
I guess Philly a few years ago when Nick Folk had to get inserted after the Wentz injury, but that was a great team already.
That was a great team. Carson Wentz was going to win the MVP.
Yes. Again, going through the list, it's like the last 10, 15 seasons, really up until that Giants Super Bowl and then that Packers Super Bowl. I mean,
the Giants' first one was the real crazy one.
And even the second one, now forgive me, was the first one or the second one that Randy Moss Patriots team?
It's the first one.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
I think you might be right on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it's Randy because that's the undefeated team.
Yes, the first one was Randy Moss. Yes, the second one was Gronk, Aaron Hernandez. Gronk had that bum ankle that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and Mario Manningham had that awesome catch on the sideline.
Correct. So, I mean, besides those Giants ones and the Packers run that they had, I mean, it's hard to think. I mean, usually one of the best teams in the league ends up pulling out. And to me, those four teams, the way that the Ravens are playing right now,
like
they have they are just they just steamroll the Texans.
And I guess that's a positive thing with the NFL. Like baseball doesn't live that life unless you spend $1 billion. Then you win.
Yeah, on the Vancouver Vortex, I don't know if it's quite 13 games, but the Vikings themselves have done this and been lucky. Wasn't it just 2 or 3 years ago when they won 11, 12, maybe 13 games and then got crushed in the playoffs and then won 5 games the next season because they were awful and won a bunch of 50-50 games that season? Yes, very true. Yes.
Yes, very, very true.
Yeah. It's, again, when I just try to have that, crystal ball, I see this team raising the Lombardi trophy at the season. Those are the only 4 teams where I'm like, yes, I can see that happening.
All right, last call for your fake sponsors. Sprague in the line coming up next. But first, we'll throw it to Swag with sports.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague.
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, Seahawks still have a playoff pulse. Although their offense did not have one much in Chicago. 2 Jason Myers field goals was enough for a 6-3 win over the Bears. They sacked quarterback Caleb Williams 7 times. Rick Wollen grabbed the game-sealing interception in the final minute. Their playoff chances take a huge boost if the Cardinals can knock off the Rams this Sunday. Scoot Henderson had a turnaround 15-footer with 1/10 of a second to go to send the Blazers to a 10th victory this season, 122-120 over the Jazz. Denny Abdia, Shaden Sharp each had 27 points, leading Portland's fourth-quarter comeback. They'll entertain the Mavericks Saturday night at Moda Center. Dallas will be without Luka Doncic for the next month. He sustained a calf muscle strain in their Christmas Day loss to the Timberwolves. 5 o'clock tonight on Fox 12 Oregon is the Holiday Bowl. Washington State taking on Syracuse. Cougs 18-point underdogs without quarterback John Mateer, who transferred to Oklahoma, and head coach Jake Dickert, who has taken the Wake Forest job. Bowl doubleheader on 910 ESPN Portland starts at 3:30. Texas Tech takes on Arkansas on the Liberty Bowl, followed by USC and Texas A&M in the Las Vegas Bowl. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand at the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan Merch Locker has a new long-sleeve tee and hoodie. This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
on 1080 The Fan.
Sprague in the line.
Sprague in the line.
Sprague in the line.
Sprague in the line. Thank you for the backup vocals there, because I'm not nearly as good as a singer as Patrick Harris.
All right, this is Sprague in the Line, brought to you by the first 3 games of the NFL Week 16. You thought the first round of college playoffs sucked. Hold my beer.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good slate to start.
Sprague in the Line, brought to you by the Hot Corner, a show I remember to listen to as often as a Sprague pick hits.
I mean, maybe during this time of year. I understand that.
Sprague in the Line, brought to you by Patrick talking about putting lotion on his bald dome when the word moist just isn't uncomfortable enough.
I believe you said putting lotion on your head.
I believe I said that, yes. Sprague in the Line, brought to you by last night's Seahawks-Bears game. It was technically football in the same way that Sprague is technically a gambler. All right. Where are we going? Who do we got? What are we feeling?
All right, let's recap last week. Sprague and I went 2-1. Dirt went 1-2. So Sprague is in the lead, 31-20 overall on the season. That is a nice over 60% clip. I am now 24-27, trying to get back to 500. Dirt bringing up the rear, 21-29-1.
Yeah, Dirt was on the Bucks covering against the Cowboys, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think that was one of my picks on Football Sunday, and boy, that did not go as planned at all.
Did not go
What the
as
hell was
planned.
that?
So I don't know if you boys want to jump in, how you want to do this.
Let's give us the boys' picks, and we'll make fun of them.
Well, we're a little. They're mad at me because I'm copying some of their picks, but what do you want? I wrote these down last night. What do you want from me? Anyway, we will start Saturday. Chargers are who do they got?
They got the Patriots.
They got the Patriots. The Patriots can't score. The Chargers are actually serious about playing defense under Jim Harbaugh. They will get enough points. This won't be a pretty game, but Dirt and I like the Chargers covering 4.5.
You know, I pulled up the schedule for the NFL, and that was one of the first things I saw, and it's like, oh, Chargers 4.5. I like that. Damn you and Dirt for taking my first pick.
I don't like that, actually. I think the Patriots are playing better football right now, and this Charger team is the strangest team of the NFL season that I don't feel comfortable putting money on it. Maybe that's just me.
Well, I would disagree on the Patriots playing better football. I guess it's better than what the beginning of the season was.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
it's like Carolina is playing better football.
Well, they covered against the Bills. The Patriots did.
Yeah, see?
I don't think them literally going and taking the longest trip of their season, going from New England to Los Angeles, is going to do them any favors.
For Sprague's first pick, he doesn't care if Anthony Richardson plays or not for the Colts. Because they have
whoever suits up against the
doesn't
Giants.
Doesn't matter. They have the Giants. Colts -7.5, and that's more an anti-Giants pick. They are truly a dumpster fire.
A hot dumpster fire.
Jonathan Taylor can probably beat him by himself.
I can't remember who it was on the Sunday show. That said that the Giants were going to cover against the Falcons and Penix. I can't remember who that might have been.
That wasn't you, was it?
Might have been. I can't remember.
I was surprised Penix played well. I'll give you that.
Well, it was more so that Falcons defense. I think they got 2 pick sixes.
They did
in that game.
Yeah.
They did.
Oh yeah. You know. Again,
is that Drew Lock? Is he throwing the football in New York?
Yes. Yes. They have turned to Drew Lock now to try to get him to the end of the season.
What happened to Cutlets?
They benched him.
Yeah, because he's not good.
Drew Lock threw 2 pick sixes and a half.
Believe it or not, still better than Tommy DeVito.
There you go.
What other picks do you got?
So then let's go to Dirt. We're all in for something on the Packers-Vikings game. So Dirt is going to take the over. He thinks it's going to be a touchdown fest. Over 48.5. Dirt will go over there. Both Sprague and I are on the Packers -1. They've got the running game. going. Josh Jacobs is just an absolute beast right now. So we are both on the Packers -1. Dirt still believes in Joe Burrow. So going to keep things interesting for the Broncos trying to clinch a playoff spot, but he will take the Bengals -3.5.
I like that. I like that a lot. I will double down on that due to my love of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. The over-under, I'm looking at it right now, is 49.5. Give me that over 49.5.
And then finally, both Sprague and I are on the Bucks. The Panthers, they kind of had their little window of resurgence there after they brought Bryce Young back. And they started to figure some things out, but it looks like Chuba Hubbard is now dinged up pretty good. Not sure if he's going to play the rest of the way. It's all on Bryce Young. That's not a good thing. Panthers defense is not going to shut the Buccaneers down. So both Sprague and I are on the Bucks -7.5.
To give you, for those of you out there missing Sprague being here, giving you terrible picks, I give you Boise State covers the spread. Can I take that?
I think it's 11 right now.
I'm going to take that.
Let me.
I hope you're right.
Boise State covers the spread of 11.
I hope that is a one-possession game. I hope that is it comes down to the final possession.
And I hope they run a Statue of Liberty and Ashton Genty proposes to a cheerleader.
I hope that happens too.
Come on, you can't tell me you don't hope that happens. I've seen it once, and it doesn't get old. I saw the replay the other day.
Penn State's prepping for it, though.
Nittany Lions are 11-point favorites.
Yeah, I'll take Boise State to cover.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm looking at what
I'm surprised none are not worthy of spraying the line picks to take that backdoor cover by Arizona State.
Well, the trick for us is we try to keep it to stuff we can actually put money down on in the state of Oregon.
Right.
You
Got
cannot
it.
wager on college football.
And I live in Washington,
I've heard the
so I keep
contentious conversations about all this A&A and going across the border for betting stuff. Yes. Dirt gets very worked up about that.
He does.
He gets very
Nobody
upset.
does petty like Dirt.
If there's one I'm looking at, I'm going to go Dolphins covering against the Browns in Cleveland, -6.5. I don't know if you saw what DTR in Cleveland looked like last week.
I'd put Famous back out there.
I'd
put Famous back out there. I literally would.
Well, I don't know if DTR turned the ball over at all last week, but he definitely didn't move that offense forward at all. I'm still pissed at myself. I was going to take the Cleveland Browns team total under last week, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. It was 17.5. I just thought this could be a stupid game where something happens that Browns get a turnover, fumble recovery for a touchdown, and something stupid's going to happen where I lose my money. Oh, DTR did throw 2 picks. Yeah, I'm loving this Dolphins -6.5 even more.
Biggest spread of the week in the NFL would be Buffalo hosting the Jets at 9.5. This is an interesting line to me. I wouldn't touch it, but the Rams are 6.5-point favorites over Arizona at home. Rams are at home.
Sorry, say that.
Rams
6.5.
It's
Cardinals are out of it.
That's a pretty big spread though.
Cardinals are out of playoff contention.
Totally, but
is it one of those where
they got a first-year coach? They got to play hard.
Who?
Arizona.
Second year.
Sorry.
I think Arizona
Gannon.
has some fun. If I was going to lean one direction, I would take those points. If it gets to 7, definitely take him.
Yeah, I think so too. Colts 7.5.
They are concerned. The Rams and the Seahawks are all rooting for the Cardinals. So if the Rams lose, then it's a winner take all. Likely to go to the NBC Sunday night game between the Rams and the Seahawks.
And that's in LA, correct?
Yes.
I also like the Monday night game. Detroit, 3.5 on the road. I'll take that.
Yeah, there's part of me
I don't know
like
what the weather's going to be like there.
I don't know if I care. I think San Francisco's real broken right now.
Yeah, and I feel like they had their moment in the sun against the Bears a couple weeks ago where they thought that, okay, maybe we do not suck as much. And then they went and lost to the Rams, and then they lose to the Dolphins, and they look like a mess.
Spraying the line brought
Can't run the ball.
Sprague in the Line brought to you by the SEC's superiority in football. The only bit more played out and annoying at this point is Dirt saying nobody believes in his Ducks.
Hey, no one believes in us. All right, I will be Dirt today, and I will back up that sentiment. We're dogs.
Sprague in the Line brought to you by the Seahawks. Don't worry, we'll disappoint you soon, just like a Sprague pick. Sprague in the Line, the chance of Swag eating mayo still higher than a Sprague pick hitting. And finally, my favorite of the day. Sprague in the Line brought to you by Schultz's on-air heart attack. With all that Dutch Brothers running through his veins, his only one enraged rant against nepotism away.
Just hit coronary right on air.
Schultz, that's...
And the fact that his son has a job, Noah Eagle does not...
That's my producer, too. That's my quarterback. That's my teammate. We come back, we'll wrap this bad boy up. Dirt and Sprague, 1080 The Fan.
It's time for To the House, the scoring plays that make football special. Brought to you by Smartline Home Design. Online at smartlinehomedesign.com.
1st and 10. They hand it off to Edwards on the left side. He's got a crease. He's going to take off. Cuts back inside. Dances towards the end zone for a touchdown. 36-yard score for Edwards.
That's George Sedano, K-State, with the big win on ESPN yesterday.
Well, I was going to say, you got to get a scoring play for somewhere in college because that definitely didn't happen in NFL.
To the House is brought to you by Smartline Home Design, a trusted local architectural design studio ready to bring your dream home to life. Visit smartlinehomedesign.com.
Builders, Smartline Home Design is here to boost your business. Our 3D tech brings unmatched precision and efficiency. Get it right the first time with streamlined designs and error-free construction documents. A trusted local architectural design studio. Visit smartlinehomedesign.com.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Colin Cowherd. Games all come down to like a minute 15. The sideline, intensity, playoff football ratchets up everything. Everything. And if we're seeing this now, Edelman sees it, I think it, and I think Philadelphia's easily got the best players. The question is, can their raw talent overcome so much of this nonsense and noise?
The original home of The Herd with Colin Cowherd. The original. Weekdays 9 to noon, 1080 The Fan.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Jansen Beach, Clackamas, Beaverton,
home run stroker.
This is a Football Friday edition of Dirt and Sprague
Brought to you by the Odyssey app.
on 1080 The Fan.
I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. It's an A-bomb from A-Rod.
What is Colorado Rockies?
What would you say you do here?
All right, fist pumping our way to the weekend. I should have, Swag wouldn't have done it. Should have told him to do the Belichick one.
Yeah, I think he somehow deleted it out of the system.
Did you wipe that from the system?
You bastard.
I don't know if I got it out of the system.
It's one of my finest works.
Dude, I was filling in Swag for you a couple years ago, and I think 1 week I was able to change it so it came back with the Belichick Friday, and I listened intentionally, and you were not happy at all. You were very, very mad. I might have even gone to traffic, done the whole routine and said I know how to get Swag. I might have.
There is a way.
Oh yeah, you can just re-tag it, right?
Yeah, Joey the IT guy. He got me hooked up with Wide Orbit on my laptop. So if I wanted to, Swag, I know. If I wanted to pull a sick joke, maybe one day. Maybe I'll do it on a Friday when you're not in. So that I know how you feel about the hoodie version of Friday. So maybe I'll save it for a Schultzy fill-in Friday or something like that.
No, we got to find something that would grind Schultz's gears.
That'll be coming up next Friday.
Next Friday.
Perfect.
Ooh, a Belichick Friday.
Man.
Perfect. I'll slide it in then.
What am I doing that Friday?
Don't mark that.
Oh, I'll listen because I got to take my kid to school. Next Friday? Is next Friday school?
January 2nd? I don't think so.
No, I don't think the kids are back.
They go
yet.
back on the 6th. Most of them go back on
those damn furlough days.
No, all these Wednesday holidays just throw everything into
I got
chaos.
so hosed this year. So my off days are Wednesday and Thursday, and all holidays are on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah,
are you kidding me? It's you have Christmas off, right? And I was like, yeah, because it's a Wednesday. Because I have Wednesdays off. You don't got to work on Thanksgiving, do you? No, because I got Thursdays off.
This is one of the few times in your life where you hate Wednesdays.
Yeah. I used to love Wednesdays.
I know.
I'm a Tuesday guy these days now.
Yeah.
Big Tuesday guy.
Yeah, Tuesdays, it's your Friday.
It's my Friday.
It's Hot Corner.
Hot Corner after dark.
There's no more Coaches show. That's bumping us to 8
Hot
to 10.
Corner after dark now.
Well, because of the sunlight. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and just that the season's not around.
That's true.
I was laughing about that, but yeah.
Yeah, thank God we don't have to do that show at 8 p.m.
Dude, that was so brutal, man.
I might have to write a personal letter to Dana Altman saying thank you for not doing the basketball.
Well, no, you can
ask him.
That's the Big Ten scheduling because it's all over the place. They're traveling a bunch. They play Tuesday, Wednesday night. The Big Ten does not care.
If you buy a used car from Dana Altman, does he listen more?
What?
He looks like a used car salesman.
No,
I
mean
he doesn't.
His name kind of has used car or car dealership name, Come down to Dana Altman Chevrolet.
That's what I mean.
It does have that ring to it. You know who has that is the rookie receiver for the Chargers, Ladd McConkey. Is that not a
Come on down to Lads. We'll take care of you. That's a McConkey
GMC.
guarantee.
Yes, 100%. I heard that, I've heard the name a bunch of times, and then it was a couple of weeks ago where they said it on the game, Ladd McConkey with a great catch there. I was like, if that is not a future car dealership owner right there, I don't know.
Does his dad? Because his dad played in the NFL.
Yeah,
I believe.
I'm Ladd McConkey. I'll give you the best GMC price in town down here at Athens, Georgia. Right off of Highway 54.
Was his dad's name Ed McConkey?
That sounds right.
Are you thinking of
Ed McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Might have been that.
I was just about I'm with you, Joe. Those 8 o'clock shows were so brutal.
Oh, my
Nobody
God.
listens to our show at 7 o'clock. You think anybody's listening at 8?
Yeah. Or 9 or 10.
When we go to 10 o'clock, it's 9:30, and you're
Oh,
like,
my
am I
God.
right? And Joe's just... Yeah.
Also, Lad McConkey's dad's name is Benji.
Benji. Ooh,
Oh.
Benji and Lad.
Dude, that's solid.
Okay.
All right.
How many Benjis do you know?
That'll do it for us. Thanks to the boys in the morning for letting us have the reins for a show. Swag, thank you as always.
Oh,
You're the
thank you
best.
guys for coming in. You saved me from doing a best of, which I much appreciate.
Oh, we know you do.
We're happy to be here. Check out the Hot Corner Tuesdays from 7 to 9. We'll be back in the new year. Boys back on Monday. Have a great new year. Be safe out there. Go do something I would do.